If you have like a partner that you've been sexually active with, and then you do something, and then after you do it, they say, no, I don't want that, and then you stop, no, to call that sexual assault, this is so beyond, I think. Kind of fuck her for not wanting to hear his side. The story itself doesn't actually matter. What happened was Emiru has convinced enough people of a particular thing, and then once it gets to Fuslie, enough of the friend group is on one side. Don't ever expect, especially a streamer, but most people will not like take a stand for a friend. They'll just go along with the friend group. So if most of the friend group is saying one thing, even if the person knows it's wrong, even if Fuslie knows that they're all lying, and then Miz has his side, they'll always just side with the friend group. Somehow, you know, in the last 10 years, the Me Too shit got morphed into like every single time you have a problem, you need to go public and tell everybody about it. It's just like, I don't know, that is just so unbearably fucking cringe to me. I don't know what he's even... Oh wait, he's still suing Emiru for defamation or whatever, right?
Yes, that's still going.
Okay. I don't know what the point... Everybody running to the lawyers and everything is so cringe. Like for civil litigation, the thing you're trying to get back the most is, I mean, it's basically money, right? Like it's usually what you're suing people for or retractions or whatever else. But the problem is that, especially as a streamer and a public figure, you are, like your reputation and everything is on the line and is actively being affected while the litigation is ongoing. So it's like, what, like you're suing somebody to hope to make yourself whole, what, in a year or 2 years or 3 years? But what's happening in the meantime? I just don't understand. I don't know, whatever. Especially when it might not even matter for this in particular. Like, I don't even know I'm not sure what he's litigating with Emiru. What was her strongest claim? Like, even her claim at the time seemed, I'm trying to remember, that he was just kind of like obsessive about her and that he like slammed doors in the apartment.
I felt like she was alluding to like that he raped her.
I don't know about rape, but I feel like the way that she alluded was so fucking weak that it sounded like bullshit immediately to me, even. I don't know. Like, it just sounded like an unhealthy kind of, like, mutually back and forthly kind of obsessively weird relationship thing, kind of. I don't know. That kind of
sounded fucked.
Yeah. It did end up working for Depp vs. Heard, no? Lawsuit to change public perception? Really? Did Johnny Depp ever really make a comeback? What has he been in since... What was the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial thing? Was it around, like, 2020, I'm guessing? 2019, 2020? Oh, 2022. Okay. Oh, I guess that fits here. I mean... it seems like his career kind of fell off a fucking cliff. What do you mean he made a comeback? Because people say nice things about him on Reddit or Twitter now? Or maybe in television? No. Nope. Video games? Nope. Theme parks? Nope. Documentaries? Nope. I don't know what the fuck this is. He's starring in the next Pirates.
Is that even confirmed?
He came back in public perception. That's about it. You're proving my point, though. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, let's say that you do your lawsuit and you win in 2 or 3 years or whatever. Like, what do you gain for it? You've nuked your career in the meantime. This is my point. Like, even if you come out and you win, people are like, oh, he won his lawsuit. It's like, okay. But like, but everything's already kind of like fucking ruined, you know? Yes, I'm agreeing with you. Well, fuck you. Turing Quantrix. What a dumb fucking name. You sound like a cereal that they try to market to kids with glasses. Fucking nerd. Yeah, that's right.
Good one.
That's right. I'm just kidding.
You have
Emiru Mizkif claim, since you forgot what it was, 2 times it.
A week after this breakup, he asked to come over to my house and talk from closure. He came to my house, and I was crying like crazy because the emotions were just very high because I was dealing with a lot of major shifts in my life as a result of me attempting to try to distance myself from him. So yeah, we were just talking and I was crying a lot. He started to try to comfort me by hugging me while I was sitting on the couch and holding me really close to him. And when this was happening, we hadn't talked in quite a while, and I'm usually very uncomfortable with being touched a lot by people that I'm not in a relationship with. But I let him hold me while I was crying. And he started kissing me in my face, and I let him do it. I was still sobbing a lot. And then, suddenly, he tried to climb on top of me and aggressively shoved his hand down my pants. And I screamed. Yeah. And when I screamed, he jumped off me like a cat, like. And instead of apologizing or checking if I was okay, he said, I feel weird now. I feel like I did something wrong. I have to go. And he immediately left my house while I was still crying, without checking if I was okay or anything. And at the time, I was still making excuses for him, and I was still afraid of causing trouble for other streamers around us, or like, you know, making things weird for viewers. I know that probably sounds crazy, but like, I just felt this pressure, like I had to try to keep things together, if that makes sense.
I don't know. Okay. I don't know.
What do you want him to say?
It's just like, I don't know. They just seem dumb. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Mizkif stream, we watched his stuff. I'm gonna have Emiya reach out, see if we can get him on the AU podcast with you for a live episode. That'd be good.
Emiya?
Emiya? Yeah, she was in his YouTube video. Apparently, Cutie Cinderella had tried to contact Emiru, but had contacted Emiya and said something like, I just spoke with like Fuslie. Yeah, it's in the video. Okay. It was like one thing. She was like, I just spoke with Fuslie and I told him all about, you know, like what happened or whatnot. And then Emiya was like, cool, thanks for the information.
Okay.
and then messaged Mizkif it. So yeah.
Watch the video. Emiru pulled a Jane Doe and replaced her PC. Wait, what? Isn't Mizkif's
Oh,
video
yeah,
like
that's at
40
the very
minutes long
end.
or something?
It's 45 minutes. Yeah.
No, that's not proven at all. They literally did the same thing to you. Mizkif showed a clip of Emiru getting her PC replaced. She could have backed up everything like you did. What is even relevant? Oh, wait, because she's getting sued. So is it like discovery obligation things or?
She knew that she was being sued on the 10th, and then she went and got a completely new PC from her sponsors on the 11th.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there was nothing. I think all the PC shit was gone.
Well, I mean, she only needs to keep the data or back stuff up or keep the drive or keep the PC. I mean, right?
Yeah. Doesn't sound like she did that.
Did she say that? Should she say, I toasted the drive, we shredded it?
She said, I returned the PC to Ironforge or whatever fucking thing it is. And Mizkif ends it seeming like he didn't get anything in fucking Discovery.
Well, are they even in Discovery in their case yet? Didn't he just sue her like a month ago?
No,
Link me the court listener. We can check.
Listener. What was it? Shunk versus Mizkif? I don't know his fucking name. Mizkif Enterprises versus Shunk? Probably is this one, Destiny?
Destiny's lawsuits, the next part of Gamergate. Gamers got into politics. Now it's lawsuits because it's more drama. I don't know. I think it's all cringe as fuck, so.
I also think it's cringe, but I don't think that you should just let someone go and call you a sexual assaulter if you didn't do it and then not sue them. I don't know.
Yeah. The only issue is that, damn, dude, oh my God. I feel like somebody's going to give me the right medication in like 5 years. I'm going to wake up in a padded cell and realize I've been hallucinating everything for the last 15 years. You have executive bodies that are here to do things, and then you've got courts that are here 99% of the time to deliver, to dispense justice after a thing has been done. But I think that in our current system in the United States, since Congress the Republicans are not willing to act, and since we have an executive that's corrupt, we're no longer looking to the courts for guidance. We're looking to the courts to protect us, which is not the job of the court. That's the job of the executive. If somebody's breaking into my home, I'm supposed to call the police, and the police are supposed to show up to protect me. If I'm suing somebody or pressing charges against somebody, it means the bad thing has already been done, and now we're seeking justice on behalf of the state, or we're seeking recompense on behalf of a victim for a civil case. I need to be made whole again financially.
Yep.
So with these lawsuit things that streamers are doing, like I'm not, it's not like I don't have sympathy towards people suing people for trying to be made whole again. But the only issue is that some of these people that are doing this are like, it feels like Mizkif has like, I just don't follow his stuff much. Did he actually get banned from Twitch or no? I don't think he did, right? He doesn't stream that. Okay.
Actually did. No,
Mizkif,
yeah.
even if Mizkif comes away with a total and absolute victory in his court case, he will never be made whole again from that court case. Right.
Well, yeah, I think
no amount of money.
No one
well,
wants
I mean,
to collab with
theoretically, yeah. I mean, he could get like $50 million, but like that's not going to happen, right? Proving damages and all of that. I don't even know how much. Probably not much, but like the idea of like, well, the courts are going to come in here and protect our reputations and everything else. And I'm not trying to dismiss how important an reputation is. I have an reputation, but it just seems to be like, we're looking to the court to do something here that it's not going to realistically be able to do. Like this process will take probably at least a year, anywhere from 1 to 3 years, depending on how complicated it is, or earlier if they settle, I guess. But like it's not like Mizkif is going to get what he needs out of this, right?
Yeah. So then what? I guess what is he to do? We just don't have a good solution right now.
I mean, women are OP in that regard. But I mean, like what you have to do has to do with some level of like social. It has to be social things. It was probably social failings that caused Mizkif to have his fallout with his friend group. My guess is that. And then getting hit by... The problem is that, especially in left-leaning spaces, which like all streamer spaces, like young culture spaces tend to be kind of left-leaning, like women are definitely OP, and he had like a back-to-back woman thing, right? Where you had the Adriana Lee thing and the Cheese, what the fuck was that one guy's name?
Cheezer?
Slick.
Oh.
No,
Crazy
wait.
Slick.
Yeah, Crazy Slick. And then you had and then after that you had the Emiru thing.
Yeah.
And then there was kind of a dramatic was there a dramatic fallout with Maya? I don't remember if there was any drama associated with that. But
I don't think so. I think the Maya shit was pretty
tame, yeah. The Adriana Lee thing was a big like meme hit. I shouldn't say meme hit. I'm sorry. I'm kind of delegitimizing it. That was a big hit. And then I'm not even sure why. What happened? Why did Emiru even go public with anything?
You got me, Chief.
Was it because Mizkif was talking shit behind the scenes?
I think she wanted to get like move on.
People are
is what
saying
it sounded
spite.
like, and
That's
tell her
retarded.
emotional
People that
truth.
are like, I need to come public with something so I can move on is literally the most like gaslit retarded shit in the fucking universe. But I don't know if that was her case. This is the thing I will always be sympathetic towards, because this is usually why I go public. It's like the Bob 7 shit and everything else. Is if somebody is trying to trash me constantly behind the scenes, I will make public statements because I'm not going to have my fucking reputation sullied, especially among my friend group. But that's the thing I'm sympathetic towards. I don't remember if Mizkif was trashing her behind the scenes though, or what her big motivation was for going live and then saying whatever she did about Mizkif. I don't know what the point is of that. Yeah. She said her reasoning in the video, it was because Mizkif met someone else that Emmy wanted to protect her from. If that's the case, my brain might be poisoned. That just reads like jealous ex to me. But I would have to watch. I think I would have to watch the video again. I don't know if I care that much to dive into it. All I know is that Miz's reputation and relationships, I think, were almost completely torched. Like the big pull to Mizkif's stream was him being in that house and pulling in so many different people and having them on stream.
He was doing tons of collabs.
Yeah. And then after all that got nuked, yeah.
It was over. He says as much in his video. I was like, yeah.
One of the things I fucking hate about being like a streamer, and it's one of the reasons why I've liked associated with just kind of like normal human beings more than just streamer people. So I try to never date or whatever or hook up even with fucking streamers or whatever, is because anybody that is in the space just always has like you wronged me? Well, time to start tweeting, time to go live, time to start talking to the whole fucking internet. It's like, why? What the fuck is wrong with you? That like this is really, we're gonna go litigate all of our personal whatever shit now publicly because you want to feel good or you want support. Like it's so fucking annoying. And cringe.
Like if Emmy,
so
in my
annoying
opinion,
and cringe.
actually felt that there was a wrong, she should have done it off stream.
Yeah,
and
or even if
handled
she
it
felt like
legally.
somebody was like doing something. I mean, you can look at the one woman for the Plattner accusation. When that woman reached out to her, although I guess Plattner wasn't a public figure at that point, and she was like, "Oh, well, here are my thoughts on him." Like, if Emmy, like, here's another thing too: people fuck up in relationships, like it happens. But like, unless Mizkif was like physically abusing the fuck out of somebody, or like raping somebody over and over again or something, the idea that like I need to warn all women he can never date anybody again, that's just so fucking cringe. It's just so fucking cringe. I don't know. I do know that's weird and cringe behavior, but because it's like, especially young women, especially young attractive women, it's like I guess they're just gonna pass everything out.
I mean, I think the video would be interesting for you to watch if you're looking for content.
Oh fuck. Okay. I feel bad because can somebody link the part in her video and then I'll watch Mizkif's video, because I know that both these motherfuckers are gonna tell their side of things. Just so that I have her thing in mind, and then I'll watch. I guess I can watch. Is it 40 minutes? How long is it?
It's 43 minutes.
Emiru's reasons for leaking. Okay. Hold on. I feel like every relationship we watch here is like guy/girl claims they're horrible /terrible /rapist, and then something comes out and it's just jealousy /misunderstanding /manipulation for the person accusing. Yeah, because it's like the whole weaponization of psych language and then treating women like children, and then a whole bunch of like simps and jealous people, and then people who are trying to do the right thing, and then you've got like misogynistic people who are shitting on. There's just like so much weird like public pressure. You're like putting somebody into like a 7-angle crusher machine every time you make these dramas public, and everything that's said about it is just so fucking stupid that I like going public on stuff should always be an ultimate last resort, because everything is like so fucked or whatever. But somehow, in the last 10 years, 15 years, the Me Too shit got morphed into like every single time you have a problem, you need to go public and tell everybody about it. It's just like, I don't know, that is just so unbearably fucking cringe to me. Ugh.
And not talk about him. For the entirety of this year, I've attempted to separate myself from him and not talk about him at all, and not talk about this issue and just not make it a public thing. I always tried my best to keep this to myself, but like I said, I feel like it's gone to the point, which I'll explain later, that I feel like it just has to be done. And I have always believed in not condemning people or starting drama online. So I'm sure a lot of people are gonna be asking, why am I doing this and why now? And I would like to explain that before I get started, so that people understand what prompted me to do this today, and that it's not just on a whim or something like that.
Which is why Zach and everybody knew about it. Well, so like, I expect them to talk amongst their friends. Like, I get that. Like, it's okay to talk amongst friend groups or whatever. Obviously, you should be somewhat responsible there. You shouldn't trash people. I mean, it depends. If they're your friends, I get that. But it's the whole, like, I need to go on stream, live, on Twitter. I need to talk about everything so that all of the... It's just... ugh.
Okay, so, like I said, I took a lot of notes, so forgive me if I just end up reading off my notes. The first and probably most severe reason is that one of the rules that I set for myself a long time ago about withholding this information was that if I ever felt like somebody else was in danger of being hurt, I would then make myself speak about it.
Like this, I wonder what I said about this in the past. Like this idea, this feels like, what'd you call it? Not extortion, but like, I have you under my thumb. Like, if I ever see you dating another girl again, I'm going to destroy you. Like, that's what it feels like. That's what it reads to me as, you know? Spiteful. That's, yeah.
Or felt like somebody else was in danger of being hurt, I would then make myself speak about it. And 2 weeks ago, actually 3 weeks ago now, I was informed by 3 separate people, one of whom was present for said incident, that he had done something similar to something that he had done to me, and to someone in LA at the end of September. And this person is not a streamer or content creator, but obviously that does not matter. And because of this, I cannot in good conscience sit here knowing that I know critical information about someone that almost no one else does and not say anything. I think that most issues and dramas should stay private and off the internet, and I still hold that belief to this day, and I will hold that belief going forward. However, there are certain things that cross the line, and I say that the line has been crossed too many times to be count. There's a point where I believe that people deserve to know. I think that at a certain point, if you know a lot of things about someone and you don't say anything to look out for others, it's wrong. It's wrong to keep it to yourself. I don't want what happened to me or what has happened to other people because of him to happen to other people. And I don't believe he will ever stop behaving the way he does. But regardless, yeah, like I said, one of the main reasons I decided to do this stream is to come out about all of this because I can't hold on to it any longer because it feels wrong to do so. And an honorable mention reason for why I'm doing this is that for a while, he has been indirectly threatening me through my friends and people that I work with. They've informed me that he said that if I ever talked about anything he did, he would try to create a smear campaign against me in retaliation. I was told that he even approached other streamers who were close with us back when we lived together, asking them if they would join with him, and they all refused.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like he just said that if you talk shit about me publicly, well, I'm going to give my side of the story. That's what it sounds like here. But okay. All right. Fuck it. God damn it.
Okay. I have the court filings with me, and today I would like to go over them. I'm Matthew Renato, the streamer known online as Mizkif. In the court filings, my name is also spelled Mizrandino. This is about Emily Shunk, the streamer online known as Emiru, who I was in a relationship with for about 3 years. For 3 years, she was the first person I saw every morning and the last person I saw every night. She was a person who wanted to marry me and have my children. Then, about 10 months later, after we broke up, in October of 2025, on a live stream to her audience of millions, she accused me of sexual assault, stalking, and abuse. I deny those accusations completely. To be clear about the setup, I am the one who went to court. I sued her for defamation, meaning for making false accusations that damaged me. A court has since ordered me to lay out, one statement at a time, exactly what she said that is false. This is me doing it.
The going public issue sounds like what Connor did with the Brit situation, or am I wrong? Anytime somebody is like going public with something, it seems to be, in my mind, the goal is always to try to destroy the reputation or destroy the other person. That's always, yeah, I don't know. Ultimately, I agree with Destiny, but wow, does it seem unfair when a guy is a twat, but you feel like you need to keep your mouth shut? I get the want to talk. Then talk. You can talk to your friends, but there's a huge difference between like, I need to go public, like on my YouTube channel or my socials and start like venting. No, I don't know. That's just, maybe it's just like a different dispositional thing. That just seems super fucking cringe to me. But I think it's also maybe, it might be just socially where like left-leaning communities are at, and that like, I don't know, I guess maybe some guys do this. Like I feel like sometimes women have no shame because they're treated like children. So like a woman could make like a series of retarded decisions and then go online and talk about them, and everybody will just say like, oh, poor girl. But like if a guy, if you like make a retarded decision, people will say like, oh, you should have known that was a catfisher, sex trafficking a minor for 3 years and selling porn under a different account so that he like, oh, okay, my bad. Gotcha.
How did you know?
With a public court record and her own words placed next to each claim so you can weigh it for yourself. Here's what's changed. After her October 2025 live stream, the accusation spread everywhere. And to most people, the story was already settled. I was guilty. But what changed is that in June 2026, a federal judge reviewed her request to throw my entire case out and recommended the opposite, that it moves forward. So here's the accusations that she made on stream. These are in her words as the judge quoted them. On October 2025, near the start of her live stream, by the magistrate judge on the account of the transcript, she said she was, and quote, finally going to be opening up about the psychological and domestic abuse, stalking and harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail that Mizkif has done towards me, and some of these issues which are still ongoing. Under Texas law, as a magistrate judge in my case wrote, accusing someone of a crime or of engaging in serious sexual misconduct is defamation per se. In plain terms, defamation per se means that falsely accusing someone of a crime is treated by the law as damaging on its face. So the harm does not have to be proven separately. Those are accusations of crimes. I deny every one of them. And the judge did not leave that standard in the abstract, applying it to her sexual assault accusation in the same opinion. She found that accusation reasonably capable of a defamatory meaning and allowed my defamation claim to move forward. If you want to find any of these readings, I'll be putting a link below.
I don't know how much Miz knows of the court process or what legal friends he got to help him here. Okay, he's overstating everything here very dramatically, but just to clarify, he's not necessarily wrong. But so what's happening is Emiru. So in the pleading stage of a case, you file a complaint. You file a civil complaint against somebody. That's this right here. My guess is that Emiru filed some type of motion to dismiss, a 12B6 or 1 or what, I don't know. Failure to state a claim. Is that 1 or 2? Which one is this? Open. Ooh. Oh, 6. 12B6. Okay. So for a motion to dismiss, okay, what happens in a motion to dismiss is you're telling the court, I want you to read the complaint. I want you to read the complaint that has been issued by the plaintiff and assume every single thing that he said is true, all right? And now look at the cause of action that he cites. What I'm going to tell you, judges, even if every single thing he says is true, he hasn't even satisfied the elements of some tort. It's not even like a bad thing I did. Even if you assume everything he said is true. So you're filing for a motion to dismiss. The judge will read it as though every fact stated in the complaint is true. That's it. So when she lost on her motion to dismiss, which if you win on a motion to dismiss, it means that the other side fucked up really bad. All that means is the judge is saying, okay, well, assuming every single thing the plaintiff has said is true, he has a case, then we'll proceed. That means that you're going to move from the pleading stage to your discovery stage. That's it. The judge is not saying that like, he's likely to win on the merits, or, I believe the plaintiff. I think that he's got a real strong case here, or whatever, or it's speaking to the strength of the case at all. All he's saying is that the facts stated in the complaint satisfy the elements of the tort of whatever the person is claiming to sue under. Okay, that's just to be clear. So when Miz is saying here, the judge even said that like it's reasonable, it's reasonably capable of a defamatory meaning. He just means that read as true that it could mean that thing. That's all that means legally. It's kind of like when we did the plausibility standard for the International Court of Justice about the genocide case, where the justices in the ICJ said it's plausible that the Palestinians have a right against Israel. That didn't mean plausibility as though, it seems like they have a really strong case. It was plausible such that the elements were there that Israel had failed to meet its obligations under the Convention Against the Crimes and Prevention of Genocide or whatever, right? That's all it means. Okay. All right. Jesus. Whew.
Of a defamatory meaning and allowed my defamation claim to move forward. If you want to find any of these readings, I'll be putting a link below where you can read everything. For the first time I spoke until now, my account has not changed. The same denial, the same story, the same detail. I have never had to take anything back because I have never lied. She has, repeatedly, through this entire process. And I'm going to walk you through the lies in her own filings and her words. The same filing has her calling one live stream spontaneous, unedited, and unscripted in one document, and describing a lawyer's review and prepared notes in another.
Something I don't understand here. Emiru said she thought what happened was sexual assault, and the thing that happened can be interpreted that way. Is it going to come down to if the thing was sexual assault legally defined exactly or more on Emiru's state of mind? I actually don't know how that works. Let's say somebody like jumps on top of you and then like gropes your breasts and is like making out with you, and you're like screaming for them to get off, and he like reaches down and he like rubs your vagina or your dick on like the outside of your pants, and then you say publicly like he raped me. This is horrible, right? Well, like maybe you're of the opinion that like it seems like this is really the case that I did get he felt basically me. But does that count as a defamatory statement? I'm actually not sure. If you're like, can you have the opinion that somebody did a thing? It's not like it needs to be adjudicated or like you need to be convicted of a crime for somebody to feel like somebody raped somebody. So I'm not actually 100% sure how that works. Mike from PA caught deleting his old planner vids. Epic. That is only relevant if they are pleading truth as an affirmative defense. I don't know what you mean by that, Kafka.
It has her swearing in a footnote that we did not get back together, while 2 months of her messages say that we did. It was her announcing a restraining order in 2 states that she never filed. Those are not differences of memory.
Oh, wait. That's bad. Those are just be lies. Hold on. Well, hold on.
In another. It has her swearing in a footnote that we did not get back together, while 2 months of her messages say that we did. It was her announcing a restraining order in 2
I'm already in the process of filing a restraining order. Well, in the okay, she doesn't say she has one yet. Okay.
States that she never filed. Those are not differences of memory, they are lies, and the records are right here. The first thing that people told about me were that he admitted to everything. I never did, and I never moved off my own story. The first thing most people heard about was not that the accusations itself, it was that I had gone on my own stream and admitted to all of it. This is false. I denied these claims from the beginning, and I've said that in the same thing every day since. Almost no one listened to my side.
Is it defamation if I believe someone did something? I don't even know how you would ask this question.
Jarvis?
Bad, but legally they didn't do. I don't even know what. Your honest belief protects you from criminal charges, but it generally does not protect you from civil liability if you ruin some. What? Is there?
You're using the worst
Is
one.
crime a is defamation a crime? Hold on. Okay. Oh, okay. So the 4 elements for defamation are: it is a false statement purporting to be fact. That statement has to have a true or false value. It can't be like a subjective, like, oh, I feel like this guy is just an asshole or a jerk. It can't be like a subjective thing like that. So it's a false statement purporting to be fact. 2 is publication or communication of that statement to a third person. So like if I'm talking to you one-on-one and I'm like, I think you fucking rape me. I can't sue you for defamation if it's a one-on-one talk. I have to communicate it to at least a third party. And then fault amounting to at least negligence. So this might be the element here that we would be interrogating about whether or not I feel like somebody raped me or not. And then 4 is damages or some harm caused to the reputation of the person or entity who is the subject of the statement. So for defamation per quad, this is like, I think, ordinary defamation. You have to prove damages. For defamation per se, that means that the damages are assumed and there's going to be some statutory or liquidated amount or whatever, where because the thing you've accused them of is so deplorable or something, like if it's a felony or if it's a sex crime or something, the damages are assumed. You don't have to actually prove damages there for a defamation per se. So 3 is fault amounting to at least negligence. So I guess this would be the standard that you would fight on. Are these elements the same for the jurisdiction in which the case was filed? I thought they said under Texas law. Everybody files everything in federal court now because that's the only place that people know how to file anything. So that was my assumption. I don't know. It says District Court, West District of Texas. Does that sound like a federal court? United States District Court. Yes, so it's in federal court, right?
The damn feds.
We can just look at her complaint, and then we can see the laws I think she cites at the bottom, the cause of action or whatever, right? No? Hold on. So count 1 is breach of contract. They don't actually put a citation here. Count 2 is defamation. This is Mizkif's thing. Count 3 is declaratory judgment. And then here he's citing 28 USC. So these are federal laws, which I assume means that this must be in federal court, right? Would be my assumption. It's in federal court, but it doesn't tell us the type of law that it was filed under. Oh, I don't know. I saw federal law cited, so that's going to be my assumption. But ooh. Most states assume that a speaker who defames another necessarily has the requisite guilty state of mind. In this court case, the court held that in Maine, all defamation claims need showing of fault, which requires plaintiff to prove that the defendant was at least negligent. Okay, maybe it all comes down to debating this, I guess. Destiny, it's Texas law. They're here under diversity jurisdiction. Don't they both live in Texas? How can you tell? Where does it show you what law they're suing under? Oh, wait, this is the dismiss. Hold on.
I love Texas.
Oh, Mizkif lives in parties, jurisdiction, of venue. Oh, I guess it would tell us here, right? Okay,
He's
so Matt lives in
now.
LA. OTA is a Delaware corporation.
Can you just pick and choose whichever state you want, or do you have to have some sort of residence there at some point?
I think it's called a nexus, but you have to show that there's some connection there. When it comes to like internet stuff, you can argue pretty broadly for different places. So you might want to shop around for a good venue or jurisdiction,
yeah.
But yeah. But generally it'll be like your state, the other person's state, or maybe like the location of a business. So like you might be able to sue somebody. So if you're from New York and I'm in Florida,
Yep.
I might be able to sue you if you say something mean about me over Twitter, like in California, if like that's where their servers are located, maybe. Like that I could argue that California law might govern some of the behavior, possibly because maybe, I don't know. I've seen a lot of random complaints about that. I don't know how strict it is. Okay, OTK is a corporation with its principal business in Austin. Okay, this is arguing for diversity jurisdiction. Mythic is blah, blah, blah. King is a Delaware corporation with its principal place of business in Texas.
It's good business.
Okay, this court has jurisdiction over this lawsuit because there is complete diversity of the parties, and the amount of controversy exceeds $75,000. Venue is proper in this district because at least one defendant resides in this district, and defendants are residents of Texas. 28 U.S.C. Section 1391 B1, and 2, a substantial part of the events or omissions giving rise to the claim occurred in this district. Okay, so I see that they have a federal court is chosen because of diversity jurisdiction. So how do I know which, I guess, like, law is in play here? Or how would you know which laws are in play, Kafka, or other lawyers in chat?
Drag me up. I'll drag him.
Who? Oh.
Hello.
Oh.
Hi.
Hello. 1 second.
This fucking guy.
I can barely hear you.
So I got some dental work earlier, so my mouth hurts a bit. Okay, you ready for the most boring part of the law? Whenever you're talking about federal court, you can only go there under very specific circumstances. One, if there's a federal question, so if you have some kind of federal law that you're suing under, right? So like in your case, you have Cardi, and that's a federal law that's being sued under. Then you also have the option of if you have a diversity between the parties, and that means that there's nobody on either side of the V that's in the same state. So let's say I'm suing 5 people. If 4 of them are out of state, but one of them's in state, can't take them to federal court, right? This is a huge fight that happens in really high level cases where you try to break or gain diversity depending on which court you want to be in, right? So some people might want to be in federal court, others might not. So you have a big fight over that. Then let's say you have diversity. Well, your amount in controversy, so the amount of
just to
money
be clear, real quick, on that's like if somebody's in the same state as you, for the personal jurisdiction question, right? That's like you would have to sue them in a state court, unless if it is a federal law, then that it would still be a federal court that has the subject matter jurisdiction, right? So 2 people in the same state can still sue themselves in federal court, right? Yeah.
If there's a federal court, you got it. Who cares? Go to federal court. Okay.
But if 2 people lived in the same state, I wouldn't be able to sue somebody in federal court and then cite state laws, right?
No. Well,
unless there's some other reason I could bring it to federal court. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's say no for this conversation. Then if you have diversity, the amount in controversy has to be at least $75,000, right? So how much money the party that's suing could win has to be at least $75,000.
Sure.
And that's a pretty easy standard to hit. Okay, that tells us that we're in federal court. The only reason you would use diversity jurisdiction is if you're suing under state claims. You don't need it if you've got federal claims. So you wouldn't use federal law if you've got diversity. Also, whenever you look at their claims, we're looking at one, he's brought breach of contract.
Couldn't you theoretically use diversity jurisdiction if you were citing multiple torts? So like Pixie right now is suing me, and it's a federal question. However, if we're able to dismiss the first claim, we can theoretically get the whole thing dismissed because the subject matter jurisdiction of the court is the reason why it's in federal court. Whereas if she was arguing for, like, let's say we both lived in the same state, but we dismissed the federal question, it could still theoretically be in federal court if there was like a diversity jurisdiction. Sorry, if she was in another state, right? Does that make sense? Yeah.
You can. I know you can. I don't know if it would have to stay if she would make that argument in the same case, or if it would get dismissed without prejudice and then she could refile. I don't know on that one specifically, just because I haven't encountered it, but I'm sure that there's a way to do that.
Sure.
Then, actually, no. This is what would happen is it would get knocked down to state court. Right.
Well, I'm assuming I misspoke. Let's assume they're in a different state, so they're still arguing that it should be there for diversity jurisdiction, for diversity sake, right?
So they're in a different. Yeah, she's in Illinois.
Yeah.
So let's say that's what we're going to use, and we say, okay, you know what? The federal question got kicked out. At that point, once that federal question got kicked out, the case can either be dismissed and without prejudice, and then she can refile it, or it can get removed to state court to be resolved there. And then in state court, she can make the argument, no, we need to go back to federal court because of these reasons, right? And you make that appeal there. Sure. I know those are 2 ways to do it.
Okay.
Yes, there is a way that you could, but you'd still need to have some federal question, knocking around somewhere at some point. The other thing is, so then like you look at the claims that they're bringing, it's breach of contract, which breach of contract you're usually doing in state court
Sure.
with state law. And then the declaratory judgment stuff, they're actually the declaratory judgment is kind of is usually something under state court as well, though I think you can get them in federal court too, so that's kind of a wash. But if you go to 47, attorney's fees, that's where we're citing the Texas Civil Practice and Remedies Code.
Sure.
That means it's definitely Texas law. You wouldn't be citing to this in a federal court for something like this. You can't seek these kinds of attorney's fees if you're using federal law. So yeah, if he's doing this breach of contract claim under federal law, under Texas state law, he has the right to seek attorney's fees under the Texas Civil Practice and Remedies Code. So yeah,
Okay. And you just have to know that without, it doesn't give you a cheat code on here. Okay. Gotcha.
Well, it's written for lawyers, not for,
Fuck yeah.
so like you would read it and you'd know what they're talking about. Yeah. So like those things put together, you can see that. So yeah. Then earlier I was talking about the truth thing. So the when you're looking at those elements, right? Whenever you're talking about the false statement, right? There's a lot of analysis that can go into that whenever it comes to defamation. I don't know Texas analysis on it, but I know in a lot of places what'll happen is they'll say, well, if what evidence do we have to know that the person knew the statement was false or recklessly did not try to figure out if it was true or not, right? Like,
sure.
If it's
and
like,
then also, wait, just real quick, to be super clear, negligently on this, the standard here seems to be negligence, not necessarily recklessness.
Is it negligent? Yeah. Okay.
What I'm curious about is the negligence.
Well, no, 1 second.
Okay.
1 second. You're looking at
the elements for defamation.
Element 3, fault being at least negligence. That is regarding the actual publication of the false statement. Some places they'll do an analysis around the statement being false, like, okay, did the person know it was false? Okay, they didn't know it was false. How easy was it for them to know it was false? Could they have easily gone and found it? And so this is kind of a recklessness idea. It's not technically reckless. It's like kind of I've seen people call it like willful. And so it's a thing where is this person taking no steps at all to verify what they're saying is true or false?
Yeah.
So you'll have that analysis in that first element. Second one, publication, is really easy. We've talked about that before. And then third, you've got your negligence, right? And then 4 damages. So really, and then that thing earlier we was talking about, like, per se, that generally counts towards negligence, or towards damages, and sometimes malice. Sometimes you can get I believe you can get defamation per se. You sometimes don't have to meet a malice standard for public people.
Sure. I think per se applies to, I've seen it said like sex crimes and felonies, I think, will be a per se thing. Or like infidelity. Or it's like crimes of, it's not, is it moral turpitude or something? I don't know. Like there's like.
Yeah, moral turpitude. Or like if you allege somebody has a sexual disease, that is a really easy way.
That's another one. Yes. Yeah.
Do it, right. Yeah. So there's like very specific ones, and people always want to try and expand it, and courts don't like doing it. But yeah, it's awkward. It's smart for him to include the breach of contract claim, because that's like something where there's actual easy to prove damages, so that he can get the diversity. And then like him surviving pleading is not super surprising, but like it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be hard for him to show like she genuinely thought that he had committed a crime, right? Because like, I'm not for sure on this, but a lot of the times whenever you're saying like, alleging that this person committed a crime is per se defamation, I feel like I've seen stuff that says that's you saying this person's been convicted of a crime, not necessarily that they committed the crime. Because it's like you can easily prove whether or not someone's committed a crime. It's a public record. So and that's like very obviously defamatory. Whether or not you like allege someone has done something that would constitute a crime, I'm not sure how easy that is by comparison. So just,
I guess my question is just like, can somebody be of the opinion that you have raped somebody or something without you having been convicted of the crime? And then like, does that count? So like, let's say that we have a solid definition agreed upon for rape that involves penetration. Okay. And then let's say that somebody claims that somebody raped somebody because they pushed them up against the wall, they were rubbing on their genitals on the outside of their body or whatever, and they kept them there for 5 minutes or whatever, and they said, I think this person raped me, right? So they are clear in what their statements are. Factually, they are correct in everything they've said, And the other side doesn't even disagree with that. But what they're saying is that statement that they made, even given all of it to be true, doesn't actually constitute rape. And the other person's like, well, I think that is rape. I think you basically raped me. Like, does that count as a defamatory statement then? Or what if they have like a disagreement over something like that? I know that we don't get to see this resolved because Trump made this kind of claim, but yeah.
Well, but like, so yeah, that was that, like, that's a hard question and one that I'm probably not gonna be able to answer 100% accurately. But as far as like the person is saying, like, we're saying there is, let's just say there's an objective definition of rape. This person describes something that does not fit that description, but they personally believe that it should be rape, or like that should be included in that definition, right? And they keep saying this person raped me. I think in that scenario, what you're looking at is you're looking at where it's kind of like a false statement, and then that person probably would be able to be shown that they made a false statement. Whether or not they did so negligently might be a question,
Yeah,
right? Because
that's
then you're saying like, right. So that's like kind of the other side of it. And then I think the deal is it's kind of a I believe whenever you get into the harm, the damages and stuff like that, if there's no like actual damages to prove, there can be a question of like, would a reasonable person view this as defamatory, or would a reasonable person
but I think none of these other things
harmful?
even matter though if that third one isn't satisfied, right? So like, let's say that
these are elements, right?
Yeah. So like, let's say I make a statement that I really do think, I think you practice bird law. You're the worst fucking lawyer in the universe. I've seen you argue bird law and it's the worst thing ever. True. And then let's say you get fired from your law firm and nobody wants to work with you anymore because they think you legitimately, you don't know shit about bird law. Even if all of those statements are like true and they're harmful and you can prove damages and everything, like if that's just like an opinion that I have because I heard you talk about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, it really doesn't matter. Like I'm in the clear there. So I'm curious if she feels like it was sexual assault or rape or whatever, but he obviously has a different perspective on that. And then even if they agree on the underlying facts, but it doesn't rise to the level like rape or sexual assault, I guess that I don't know how that's treated. Yeah.
The way that you would resolve this kind of question, and like the way that I would, if a client came to me and described what you described, this person claimed I did all these horrible things, but I didn't fulfill the definition of rape, and they keep saying it. The advice at that point is not let's sue them for defamation because that's defamation. I would say that might be defamation, but we're leaving a lot of gray area that we don't want to go into a courtroom with. What we're going to do is we're going to send them a cease and desist that says, here is what you said. Here's what the objective definition of rape is. This does not fulfill that. We are informing you right now, you need to stop saying that. You don't even need to ask for retraction. Just going forward, do not say this anymore. It is clearly not. We all know it's not. And then from that point, right, they have knowledge. They objectively have the knowledge, or were given the knowledge that what they're saying is false. And going forward, you would be able to much more easily fulfill those elements.
Okay.
Right?
Gotcha.
Because
all right. I gotcha.
Yeah, that's kind of what you want to set up before you go in. And I'm sure, and I don't know if he mentions it, but I believe Mizkif did send a demand saying, hey, here's the things you said, here's the things that are not true, do not say these things about me. And then she, after that date, did say those things. And so that's where a lot of the defamation kind of, it like whenever people are kind of saying like, there's a lot of he said, she said, it's like, well, like, yes, and the legal community knows about that. And so we've taken steps to try to eliminate that kind of thing coming up at trial. So it's just kind of how much did he do before he sued her, and can he fulfill these elements? But yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. I love it.
Bye, guys.
Be careful.
Mamma mia.
Okay. Jesus.
Before I went live, Emiru went live first. She told the world that I sexually assaulted her, abused her, and stalked her before I had a single word in my defense. I deny those accusations completely. The word that came next, rapist, came from everyone who heard her and ran with it. The verdict was in before I even said a single word. And when I did go live, I told my side, and I've stuck with it word for word to today. She has not. She has done exactly one live stream. And across that single stream, her story does not hold together. It has contradictions that are laid out in the sections that follow, in her own filings and her own words. One account has never changed. The other keeps changing. So why does the false version that I admitted to everything still win? That's because almost no one watched either stream in full. People pulled small clips from my about 30-minute response, cut away the context, and wrapped their own narrative around it for views and for clips. And the reach was never close to her. So in Emiru's filing, her motion calls it spontaneous. Her own transcript has her describing a lawyer's review and prepared notes. In her motion to dismiss, her attorney describes the stream this way in regards to the sexual assault. The live stream was spontaneous, unedited, and unscripted, speaking openly and vulnerably in the...
Didn't we watch her literally shuffling through pages of...
He brings it up, yeah.
Oh.
public thing.
Like she's literally reading off of a prepared statement.
I always.
And then I think there are times when you literally see her like pick up and shuffle papers. I don't know why. Okay, crazy.
In the moment. In her declaration, she states the filed transcript of the live stream is accurate, a true and correct copy. And she says at 18 minutes and 5 seconds into that stream, I have been in contact with my lawyer, a true and correct copy. And she says at 18 minutes and 5 seconds into that stream, I have been in contact with my lawyer. I had them review everything that I'm planning to say today. And across that same broadcast, she keeps refuting to how prepared she was. It was not just on a whim, she says.
Sorry.
I took a lot of notes. I just ended up reading off my own notes. So my attorney puts it in court directly. Shunk should not be heard now to argue that her defamatory comments were some off-the-cuff, spontaneous, emotional response, when she specifically stated that not only were her comments thoroughly planned out and scripted, that they were in fact reviewed by counsel in advance to the live stream. So her brief on the stream was spontaneous and unscripted. Her own filed transcript has her saying a lawyer reviewed and it read from notes. Both are her words. In the same case, they describe the same 90 minutes 2 different ways. The sexual assault allegations, she called it sexual assault. Here's what she said happened and what I did. She told her audience and later the court that what happened between us on one night was sexual assault, a crime. She named it on the live stream, where she made her own other accusations. She went over what she says happens that night. These are her own words, as quoted in my complaint. He started kissing my face and I let him do it. And then suddenly he tried to climb on top of me and aggressively shoved his hands down my pants. And I screamed. And when I screamed, he jumped off of me like a cat. Here's what I have to say about that, plainly. I did what any man should do in the situation. She made it clear that she didn't want it, and I stopped. I respected her not consenting. I did the right thing in that situation. And look closely at her own account, because on the thing that matters the most, it agrees with me. The moment she reacted, I stopped. When I screamed, he jumped off of me, like a cat. As her words, not mine. I did not push past her. I did not ignore her. The instant I understood that she was not okay, I stopped. I did not sexually assault her and deny it completely. Here's word for word from the transcript filed. In this case, is what I exactly said on that stream. This was never a confession, and it was denial. And I wrote, I knew the relationship wasn't healthy at this point. I knew we had to end it soon. Emmy posted a very provocative picture, one that she knew I would hate, and she posted it to make me upset. She admitted she made me upset with it, and we got into a heated argument after I broke up with her. We broke up for about a month. Then we got back together because we thought we could make it work. We went to get food at BJ's, a common place where we would get food. And then we went back to her house. We cuddled for about 30 minutes and we started to kiss. She said that she was okay with it on her stream, and I started to advance to the next stage because I thought that's what she wanted. She yelped, and I immediately sprung up and was scared if I did anything wrong or did wrong in general. I got scared and left the house. So why does this false version that I admitted to everything still win? I would also like to make it very clear that up until
That's sneaky as fuck. Notice what's sneaky as fuck.
that moment, Emiru and I have been dating for over 3 years. We did break up for about a couple weeks, but we immediately got back together. And through the last year of our relationship, we were constantly breaking up with each other, and then we would repeatedly have sex and get back together. So this is just one of those moments. To date, there is no evidence of a police report or any other legal action over the incident she alleges happened around October 2024, despite her public statements in October 2025, where she said to her audience that she was seeking a restraining order.
I am already in the process of filing a restraining order on him in both Texas and California.
20 months have now passed since the alleged incident without a single criminal complaint, restraining order, or investigation appearing in any record in California or Texas. The only active case arising from any of this is my defamation lawsuit that I brought against her. The total absence of any official action over a year and a half stands in stark contrast to the severity of what she accused me of. When she finally did raise it, a full year after the date, she points to, it was not to the police. It was an audience of millions on a live stream. This is the reason she gave for going live. I felt like it was a necessary stream because I have heard that he has done things to other people that align with some of my own experiences, so I felt like it would be wrong for me to keep holding on to all this information. And here is what does not fit an assault. We kept dating for months afterward. Her own messages, laid out in the next 2 sections, show her coming over, cooking me dinner, asking to sleep together, holding on to all this information. And here is what does reason she gave for going live. I felt like it was a necessary stream because I have heard that he has done things to other people that align with some of my own experiences, so I felt like it would be wrong for me to keep holding on to all this information. And here is what does not fit an assault. We kept dating for months afterward. Her own messages, laid out in the next 2 sections, show her coming over. Cooking me dinner, asking to sleep together, calling me babe, messaging me. Merry Christmas, babe. When it ended in January 2025, I was the one who walked away, and she is the one who did not want to split up. Her lawyers swore in a footnote that we did not get back together after the assault.
Jesus. For clarity, Shunk and Miss Rendino did not get back together after the assault. Sadly, this is a common tactic by abusers to try to justify their behavior towards their victims. Is this normal? I don't care about any court shit. I don't care. Fuck. I've got Factorio. We're gonna play more games. I'm retiring from everything. What are you allowed to just like put comments and shit like this in like when you just put shit in here into your filings, into your footnotes, into whatever else? Like Kafka, do you see this shit often? Do the judges just have no self-respect and nobody gives a fuck on anything?
I don't care.
This is a common tactic by abusers. Like, what is...
Well, because this is painting him clearly as an abuser, yeah?
Well, it's also...
Not really
I don't know, like,
relevant.
it's a heavily opinionated statement that is, like, not relevant to... I feel like just seeing statements like this in filings is super ultra fucking cringe, in my opinion. But I don't know. Whatever.
When it ended cooking me months
She claimed that,
wrong for me because
when did the quote unquote sexual assault event happen?
keep holding on to all this information. And here is what does not fit an assault.
Footnotes have unlimited narrativization allowed. It's called a loophole. Okay, based.
We kept dating for months afterward. Her own messages laid out in the next two sections.
October 24th. Okay, gotcha. All right.
After the assault.
They can say
Her
whatever
own
they
messages
want there.
Why would damn. I'm not gonna Fedmeister myself again when I reviewed that. Maybe Miz is just like super blatantly fucking lying here, and Emiru is gonna have counter texts that show like one message before all of his that show it's completely not what he's saying it is. But I mean, like this looks, in my opinion, this looks really bad. Like it looks like she's not just being bullied into engaging, or he's not like guilt tripping. It seems like she's like pretty proactively engaging and everything else. So even sometimes with him not engaging, unless he's deleted messages, possibly, right? Because like she messages him on the 24th on Christmas Eve, hi, he doesn't respond, and then she messages him the next morning, Merry Christmas, babe. What is this missing thing? Is this like an emote or something, or a emoji?
That's what I figured. Yeah, I figured it was an emoji.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's okay. Unless unless she has messages like right before this that would dramatically change these, I guess. I don't know.
Merry Christmas, babe. When it ended in January 2025, I was the one who walked away, and she is the one who did not want to split up. Her lawyers swore in a footnote that we did not get back together after the assault. Her own messages in the section below say otherwise. That is a lie, and in the record proves it. In court, she changed what the accusations even were. In public, Emiru called the accusations sexual assault, the crime. But once I sued her, her lawyers argued that her own words were never factually a claim at all, only her protected emotional truth. She said, and
I do not think a lawyer wrote this out. I don't know why he made this video LOL. Well, again, you have to consider civil court is here to make you whole again, and his entire reputation in life is kind of like on the line and has been or is actively being destroyed. So it's not like it's like, oh, I'm just going to go, radio silent for 2 years until I win in court, because by then, like, his whole career might be over. So what's the point, right? You kind of have to, I think when you deal with public figures, there's like a balance or a struggle with how much do they say publicly versus how much do they just let slide while their reputation is being destroyed that you're never going to get money back for. Like, I think it's a difficult thing to balance, right? I have to deal with this in my case.
I quote, her story is admirable, and in telling it, she is stating her emotional truth.
That's a wild statement. I feel like, I just don't know anything. I just feel like this writing is so cringe. Shunk is expressing her heartfelt emotional journey over several years with an admittedly toxic man. Her story is admirable, and in telling it, she is stating her emotional truth, not some statement of decisive fact. I understand like a little bit of stuff, but when you're writing like every motion, every court response is like it's your closing arguments in a criminal case, I don't know. It just feels, but I guess nobody cares. I'm trying to find, what was the...
Would you call this dicta, or is this something completely
No,
opposite
it's
called?
just different. Yeah,
Just
dicta is like
autism?
judges opining on things.
Yeah.
It's a totally different thing. I'm trying to... What was the... I remember... Dude, there's no way that Joan was writing these. I remember Pixie filing this. Further, defendant's awareness of potential privilege issues does not excuse plaintiff's failure to exhaust efforts under Rule 37, the local rules, or the court's civil standing order before moving to compel. Plaintiff argues... Oh, no, wait, this is our response. She said in her thing that... Wait. Is this a different case? Wait, oh no, shit, this is a different case. Wait, do other people use this writing? I wonder if her... Oh, this, like, gaslight the court? Is that a... Why? Wait, hold on. Somebody else did say this. Fuck. I don't remember which filing this was in.
You can't gaslight the court anymore?
Fuck. Does anybody remember the docket entry for... She was like, defendant attempts to gaslight the court. And I'm like, what? It's cringe. I don't remember.
Wait, they were accusing you of gaslighting the court?
Yeah, gaslighting the court. But Jesus Christ. I don't know. Somebody can find it later.
Not some statement of decisive fact. My attorneys answered that with one line. Emotional truth is not a recognized defense to defamation in Texas. And this is not just my side spin on her defense. The magistrate judge, restating Shunk's own motion in her own words, described it in exactly those terms. She also argues that her statement, considered in its entirety, was an opinion or her protected emotional truth. The judge did not buy it on the part that matters the most. Vague feelings about a relationship can be protected opinion. But falsely accusing someone of sexual assault, the judge held, is different because those words can only mean one thing, that I committed a crime. She found exactly that about Shunk's accusation. Considering the gist of Shunk's statement, which included allegations of sexual assault, the court finds that it was reasonably capable of a defamatory meaning. He plausibly pleads a claim for defamation against Shunk based on her allegedly untrue statement that includes allegations of sexual assault. So here's where it stands. She told millions of people I sexually assaulted her. She has never produced a police report. We dated for months after that, the night that she points to. And when I took her to court, her own lawyers argued those words were not a factual accusation, but her feelings. Her emotional truth. The federal magistrate judge recommended that my defamation claim goes forward on exactly that statement, and in her exact words, found it reasonably capable of a defamatory meaning. Her filings say we never got back together. The messages from those months say otherwise. In her brief reply, her lawyer stated in a footnote, for clarity,
I haven't seen the responses, but the I couldn't have assaulted her. She stayed with me for months after I assaulted her sounds retarded to me. No, it's a totality thing. Like, if you're trying to say, like, oh, there's no way that I could have, like, raped this person or whatever because they didn't break up with me immediately after, that would be retarded. But if somebody's making this claim of, like, oh, he did this horrible thing, he assaulted me, and then after that it was over and I knew how toxic and terrible he was and everything else, well, if you find out that they did have that event and whatever happened, but then they also still seem to be kind of happily together and her engaging with him for months afterwards, it casts that entirety of that story in a different light. Like, it can be like a part, it can be like a factor that you consider. It's not on its own dispositive, or it's not on its own like giving you concrete information one way or the other, but it paints a picture for sure, which is fair.
Chunk and Mizrandino did not get back together after the assault. Sadly, this is a common tactic by abusers to try to justify their behavior towards victims. But on her own live stream, she described that same breakup as nothing more than a short period. A short period is a brief break, and then we got back together. So let me be exact about the timeline, because this is where people have gotten confused. According to Emiru and her lawyers, we broke up in October 2024, and they told the court that we never got back together. Every message below is after that. On November 18th, I told Emiru that she can come over, and she said, is it okay if my alarms go off at 10, LOL? I said, sure. On December 16th, I ask if she wants to come over. She tries to call my phone. On December 18th, she makes me salmon.
It's at its strongest when he's showing that she's trying to claim that she never went back to him as proof of the essay, when in reality she had to go back to him. So it only undermines her argument, not necessarily the sexual assault claim. I disagree. I don't know how it works in a court environment, but in a personal environment, it heavily undermines the claim. Because what you're saying is there is behavior that I engaged in the future, and that behavior is predicated on this horrible event that I'm telling you happened. Well, if I find out that that behavior didn't happen in the future, it makes me doubt the predicate. It makes me doubt the thing that you say came before. Does that make sense? Like, if somebody says well, I mean, he beat the shit out of me. I never went back there. Of course not. I didn't go back there after he beat the shit out of me. Like, that's the worst thing you do. I'm not going to go back to somebody that abuses me and hits me. And then I find out that you were going back there all the time. I was like, well, I thought you just said there was some course of action you took as a result of something else. But then I found out you didn't even take that course of action. So did the other thing actually even happen? Right? Because you're the one that's setting up the, you're the one that's setting up the cause and effect. And then we're finding out you lied about the effect, which I think is fair then to make you doubt the cause. right? Like for the one Plattner accuser woman, she said that after the event that she blocked him and removed him from everything and didn't want to talk to him again. Well, let's say that it comes out that actually she continued to hook up with him for months afterwards, and then she lied about not seeing him again. That would make me wonder about the rape event that she talked about, because she cited that event as a reason why she messaged him and then blocked him, removed him from everything. But if they are still hanging out, well, then it makes me wonder, because there was a cause and effect you set up there, and the effect didn't happen, so it makes me wonder about the cause, right?
For dinner. When I tell her my uncle died, she asks if I want to come over, and she does. On December 21st, she asks to come shower at my place. Can I still come over tonight? Because she wanted to sleep with me. You know how you said my shower was cold? Obviously, I was at her place. My hot water completely is out now. I want the shower at your place. I'll just get up early again.
Jesus, okay.
I said yes. On December 25th, Christmas, she said hi, and then Merry Christmas, babe. This does sound like a couple that is broken up. On December 30th, 2024, we sleep together.
Like they could be broken up and they're just kind of like hanging on at the end, maybe. But like, I mean, it's to an adult, or I guess I can't say that anymore. To a boomer, it's going to look like you guys are still together in some capacity, right? And at the very least, it's not communicating the message that Emiru was communicating, and that like, oh, they must be totally separated, and because she was so disgusted by that sexual assault event,
Me, okay, I'm going to bed. Emiru said, okay. I then said, I'm just getting ready. Emiru said, do you want to sleep together? I then said, yeah. Keep in mind that a lot of the calls that we would have with each other are not shown because we called each other every single day, as we slept with each other every single night. January the 15th to 18th, I call her babe in a text. Her filing said that we did not get back together after the October 2024 breakup, as she describes. These are her own messages from November, December, and January.
Still? Redacted. Okay.
Did not get back together after the October 2024 breakup, as she describes. These are her own messages from November, December, and January. All after that date, the filing and the messages describe two different relationships. Our next point, she also says that she ended the relationship. But here's what actually happened the morning I walked out. We were together.
I think the problem here is that he is saying they got back together when it sounds more like they had an on-off relationship afterwards. Pretty different things, in my opinion. No, fuck you. The takeaway that I had, well, let me find out what she says exactly.
Yeah, research.
Hold on.
Other people and like kind of present like, oh, I want to change, I want to be better for Emmy or whatever, you know? There was a short period in October where we had broken up because, I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter now. And when that happened, I honestly felt relieved because I was like, okay, finally, it's like on his terms. So that means he'll be satisfied and he'll say it was his choice and he'll leave me alone. Because whenever I would try to push for it, it just felt like I couldn't like really sever it, if that makes sense. But I mean, obviously, hence he doing the stream, that was not the end of it.
Wait, well here she says they weren't broken up. Wait, what did she say something different in court filings? Hold on. This would have been in the motion to dismiss.
Tricky.
October, didn't they say that? Hold on.
Come on, bro.
In a text. Her filing said that we did not get back together after the October 2024 breakup, as she describes. These are her own messages from November, December. Keep in mind that a lot of the calls that we would have with you, Merry.
Oh, it's probably in her affidavit or her sworn. No? Wait, where does she say they broke up in October? Mizkif show that part in the beginning. Which part? What timestamp? For clarity, Shunkin Misrendino
Assault.
did not.
Renendo. Oh.
Okay, so this is their response. So maybe their reply, I guess. Hold on. We have an amended complaint. Filed by... Wait. In the motion for arbitration and stay litigation, plaintiff submits an interpretation, blah, blah, blah. Plaintiffs do not dispute. Response to plaintiff's amended complaint. Second, motion to dismiss for failure to state a claim.
You know I do a pretty good turkey noise, huh?
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Just ask Claude. Here, you ask Claude. Somebody find it. And then this is the response. Bum, 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 bum.
I don't talk to clankers.
They asked for show cause something. Reply. Filed by... Wait, who is Zach Hoyt again? Is this a... Is that Asmongold?
Yeah, I think so.
Is he part of this because of the contract thing? Okay. Motion to dismiss first amended complaint. Okay.
Adley. We never got back together. The messages from those months say otherwise. In her brief reply, her lawyer stated in a footnote, for clarity, Shunkin Mizrudino did not...
Motion for leave to file amicus brief. This is a... Oh. Oh my fucking god. Page 9. Thank you. Jesus fuck. Reply in support of motion to dismiss. What docket entry is this? So reply in support of her motion to dismiss docket 39. Oh, so it was her declaration here, I guess? No, 13 pages. Guy in chat, what was the docket entry? Wait, can you just tell me? Just a number and a dash and a number. It was entry 48. 48 what? Shut up. That's all right. We'll find it. It's one of these. It's in the main document. In this? Oh. Wait, why did it not pop up when I searched for it? Fuck me. Whatever. Okay, Jesus.
Help him. He's booming out, man. I don't know what to tell him. I'm not booming out, Mooten.
Footnote 3 on this. Okay, she says, we cuddled for about 30 minutes, started to kiss. She said she was okay with this on her stream, and I started to advance to the next stage because I thought that's what she wanted. She yelped, and I immediately sprung up and was scared if I did anything wrong or did wrong in general. I got scared and left the house. I apologize if that made Emmy uncomfortable for me not saying sorry, and I wish I said sorry back then, but we got back together soon afterwards. Completely different situation. The father denied that any sexual activity occurred here. Senator admits to the underlying activity, but bitterly complains that Shunk used the term sexual assault to describe his conduct. Ms. Martino doesn't dispute Shunk's version of events. Rather, his only defense is that there was a 30-minute gap between when Shunk used the term sexual assault and when she described the assault. He claims without any evidence whatsoever that in the internet age, no viewer would wait to hear the full context of her statement. Okay, so this is just a footnote that they stick in here. For clarity, Shank and Miss Martino did not get back together after the assault. Sadly, this is a comment by abuser just... Okay. Okay, so this isn't a big part of her claim here. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Dumb. All right. Because even in the video by Emiru, it seems like she says they did get back together, but...
Not get back together after the assault. Sadly, I said, sure. It's cold. Obviously, I was at her place. My hot water completely is out now. I want to shower at your place. I'll just get up early again. I said yes. On December 25th, Christmas, she said hi, and then Merry Christmas, babe. This does sound like a couple that is broken up. On December 30th, 2024, we sleep together. Me, okay, I'm going to bed. Emiru said, okay. I then said, I'm just getting ready. Emiru said, do you want to sleep together? I then said, yeah.
Okay, that's showing up in just a footnote and it not being a big thing. Now I can go either way, I guess. Because, these people don't sound like they're obviously completely separated, but they also don't necessarily sound like they're together, because why would you ask a partner if you can sleep together? It sounds like they're kind of like yo-yoing at this point, but okay.
Keep in mind that a lot of the calls that we would have...
The one thing I'll say about that is they don't live together, and what they're asking, what she, I believe, is asking there, can we sleep together? She's coming over and asking, can I just, come sleep with him? This happens a lot in their DMs.
Sure. But that sounds like then they're, yo-yoing, no?
I think to a normal party, yes, but it even sounds like later on, she apparently hands Miz a note that says, I want to marry you. Can I move into the place next to you? And then can we, get married? Apparently, he's really weird about his space. I have no idea. But that's just how it sounds.
Huh, okay.
Have with each other are not shown because we called each other every single day, as we slept with each other every single night. January the 15th to 18th, I call her babe in a text. Her filing said that we did not get back together after the October 2024 breakup, as she describes. These are her own messages from November, December, and January. All after that date, the filing and the messages describe two different relationships. Our next point, she also says that she ended the relationship. But here's what actually happened the morning I walked out. We were together on and off for 3 years. A relationship we kept hidden from almost everyone around us. But near the end, we broke up, we got back together more times than I can count. I wanted space, and she wanted to move closer. I told her I wanted her to move out and that I wanted space, and it was a line that never healed. The week of our official breakup in January, we had agreed to finally sit down and each say what we wanted for the future. We slept at her house. On the morning of January 23rd, 2025, she handed me a note. In it, she wrote that she wanted to marry me, that she wanted to build a life and move into an apartment right next to me because she knew how much I needed my space. And I looked at it. I looked at her, and I handed it back to her. I told her, I can't do this anymore, and I'm sorry. And the last thing I heard as I was closing her front door, and she said, don't go. This is who ended it. So in my complaint, I said, he called off the relationship in January 2025. So to be exact, the exact date that our relationship ended was on January 23rd, 2025. I left Austin in early February, first for Japan, and the move to Los Angeles came afterwards. After 2 trips overseas, the day by day in the timeline is going to be shown. These messages are showing with me and at one point my best friend, Extra Emily. So Extra Emily knew that I wanted to break up with Emiru for a long time. And these messages are on the exact date that I broke up with Emiru on January 23rd, 2025. I messaged her and I said, bitch, I did it. I ended it. Emily said, shut up. No way. I'm free to call whenever. I said, are you streaming? And she said, not until Saturday. And then I messaged her and I said, okay, I'll call in 5. The conversation didn't end there. 2 days later, on January 25th, it was Emiru reaching out to talk things over with Extra Emily. And Extra Emily...
Oh, because... I'm sorry. Fuck me. This is not... Emiru and Emily are 2 different people.
Yep.
Wait, so he's saying that... Oh, so he's trying to date Emily now? So he calls her and says that he ended it? Or is this like a friend he's confiding in, I guess?
Brandy's confiding in it. Seems like.
Not until Saturday, and then I messaged him and I said, okay, I'll call in 5. The conversation didn't end there. 2 days later, on January 25th, it was Emiru reaching out to talk things over with Extra Emily. And Extra Emily had already heard from me that it was Emiru reaching, I'll call in 5. The conversation didn't end there. 2 days later, on January 25th, it was Emiru reaching out to talk things over with Extra Emily. And Extra Emily had already heard from me that it was over. So this is January 25th, 2025. Extra Emily says, okay. And then she says, she texted me to talk. I'm pretending like you didn't tell me the news. Okay, I'm talking to her on the phone soon. I then said, are you streaming tomorrow? And she said, no. So if this doesn't prove that Emiru is lying, that who broke up with who, I don't know what does. So now we're gonna move on to the stalking allegations. And
damn, he's got a little timeline and everything. Okay.
Where I actually was. On February 2nd, 2025, about 10 days after we broke up, I flew to Japan. The reason why I flew to Japan is that I knew if I stayed in Austin, that we were just gonna get back together and get in the same loop that we had been in for almost a year. On February 21st, 2025, I came back to Austin and stayed about 3 weeks. This is when my friend Simply had a party, which is the one that she ties to stalking, was on February 23rd, 2 days after I landed, about a month after we broke up. On March 16th, 2025, I flew back to Japan and stayed there for nearly 2 months. On May 12th, 2025, I returned to Austin for about 2.5 weeks. And in May 29th, 2025, I moved to Los Angeles. Stalking means being near someone and contacting them when they don't want it. For most of the
Do you think the events as described could be described as sexual assault? Basically, you're putting your hands down your partner's pants at the wrong moment. For an example, to test the concept, putting your hands down the pants of your partner during a funeral. What? If you have like a partner that you've been sexually active with, and then you do something, and then after you do it, they say, no, I don't want that, and then you stop? No, that to call that sexual assault, this is so beyond fucking, I think.
Year after we ended it, I was on another continent, and then in another state. I put distance between us deliberately, more than once. And on my own stream, here is what I exactly said about it. That week, I made flights to Japan because I didn't want to sit around and wait possibly to get back together again. I have never talked to her in person since. I have been removed from OTK Discords. I did see her at a party once at Simply's house, one of my close friends. The house was very small and I opened the door. I said, whoops, I want to make it very clear I was not following her. It just happened that I was with someone she knew the entire night. The house is about 2,000 square feet with about 50 people. I, of course, was near her, but I was never following her. The specific incident she calls stalking is a party. Here is how she described it on her own stream from the certified transcript she filed herself. I made the mistake of thinking that I only had to cut him off through personal private communication, but I also had to start avoiding going.
Okay, but do you think putting your hands down someone's pants to comfort them while crying is retarded, though? Maybe, I don't know. But also, like, people have sex when they're emotional, which is really weird to me. I can't do that at all. But a lot of people apparently do that, so I don't know. But regardless, if you say no and then the person stops, to then be like, oh, yes, that's cringe. I'm sorry, that's just fucking cringe.
To the same parties or places I was worried he'd be. There was a party that I attended. I was aware that he would be there, and I thought it wouldn't be a big deal. We're adults, right? During this party, I felt like he was following me around and monitoring me. But I thought that was just being paranoid. About 30 minutes later, the room that we're in, the door opens, it's Miz. He opens the door, makes eye contact with me, goes ooh, and closes the door and leaves. That is the entirety of her stalking allegations. Read in her own words, this is obviously not stalking. She was never cut off. She says that she cut me off through personal private communication, but she controlled the contact. She didn't block me, and on her own stream, she showed messages proving that I could still reach her.
Holy shit. These are in March, January, February, March, April of 2025? Damn, wait, so what happened?
What? You can't do a little schizoing?
Oh no, why did he break?
It's love, you idiot.
Oh no, what happened? Our timeline. Hold on, 2148. March was during the Japan trip.
Communication, but she controlled the contact. She didn't block me, and on her own stream, she showed
Okay, I'm trying to think of how much of these are like stalker, or not stalker, I'm sorry. How many of these are like emotional relationship type, like I want to love you messages versus like what the fuck is going on? Because this here is him asking if she has a recording of him and why he got kicked from OTK. Here he's saying, I don't want to feel isolated and hated by my own org. I understand, I'll just leave you alone. I'd really appreciate if we could talk. Okay. This is, I wish I had a date on this one. I really need to tell you things. I'm so sorry for the past few months. I'm sorry for so much that happened. I knew it's time to be alone, but I really love you so much. I just needed to know what being alone, and I learned that I needed you, and I learned I need you. Jesus. Okay.
Messages proving that I could still reach her. Choosing not to answer someone while never blocking them, while leaving every channel they could use to reach you wide open, and while showing no sign that you want them to stop is not the same as being stalked. She also
I half agree with that, but I mean, she wasn't responding, so it seems like she probably doesn't want to talk. But then also these guys have been like back and forth, so it's kind of more complicated, I think.
Also knew that I was going to be there. In her own words, she was aware that I would be there and chose to attend the same party. Going somewhere you knew the other person would be at is the opposite of being followed. She also says that she felt and thought she was paranoid. She does not say I actually followed or monitored her. She said that she felt that way and twice told her audience that she thought she was just being paranoid. And lastly, I opened the door and I left. Her one concrete moment is that about 30 minutes later, I opened a door, saw that she was inside and said, ooh, and walked away. Stalkers follow you. They obsess over you. They don't open a door at your friend's party and walk away. This is the entire firsthand account in her own filing on the strength of it that she listed stalking among the crimes she accused me of. If I was stalking her, I would be the worst stalker on the planet. I left the country for months immediately after we broke up, flew to Japan twice, and moved across the country shortly after I returned. That is the behavior of someone pulling as much distance possible between themselves and the other person, not following them. And while she was calling me a stalker in front of millions of people, she was quietly making the rounds through the community, going from person to person, behind my back, spreading a version of events I had no opportunity to answer. Emiru also claims on her own stream that she filed a restraining order in 2 states. Emiru said, and I quote, I'm already in the process of filing a restraining order on him in both Texas and California. A restraining order is a public court record. It is not in her motion. It is not in her sworn declaration. It is not in her first reply. She has not produced one or any as of today, roughly 8 months later. After she announced it, there is still no restraining order or protective order of any kind against me that has appeared in Texas or California. My own attorney has received none, and the people who follow the case closely, watching for any filings of any type, have also found none. And the timing is the whole point. In both states she named, an emergency order is built to be fast because it's meant for people in real danger. In California, a judge can grant a temporary restraining order the same day you apply, with a full hearing set just 21 to 25 days later. In Texas, a judge can grant a temporary ex parte protective order the same day on a finding, a clear and present danger, with a hearing within 14 days. Someone who genuinely needs protection can have a temporary order in hours, not months. She said that she was already in the process in October 2025. 8 months later, there is nothing. She also told her audience that my lawsuit was a bluff that I couldn't win. In nearly the same breath, she predicted that I would sue her and waved it off in advance as meaningless. She put, and I quote, I would not be surprised if he tries to sue me for the stream that I did today and for coming out about him. Not because he thinks that he would win, but for PR reasons, like a slap lawsuit. Interesting. So on camera, she was sure of 2 things. A restraining order was already on the way, and that my case was baseless. It was a PR stunt that I couldn't win. Neither of those things have held up. There's been no restraining order or protective order that has ever appeared in Texas or California. And the judge who reviewed her motion to throw my case out recommended the opposite, that it moves forward. She told her audience I could not win. The court let me proceed. So here's the part that she leaves out about the party. Simply, whose party it was is one of my closest friends. We lived together for years. And at the time, we were going through our both breakups and dealing with our own problems. When I got back from Japan, he is the one who invited me. I was not there to find her. While Simply was giving me a tour of his house, I opened the door. I saw 4 OTK members sitting there in the corner and closed it. That is the whole opening the door moment that she describes as me stalking her. I want that to sink in, that is what she described as stalking. Moment she describes a tour of my best friend's house is me stalking her. And my own text from that night prove it in real time.
I hope that he doesn't have so the thing that would hurt him here is if Emiru has a ton of texts of him asking other people oh, is Emiru there? Where is she or whatever? Asking about her at the party. This would hurt his case a lot if those existed. If they don't, then Emiru is kind of on an island here with this claim, I think.
Extra Emily asking why everyone was upstairs, what the group in the corner was about, and what was going on. I thought that they were making another version of OTK, and I got worried. And Extra Emily just told me to basically not worry at all. That was it. And she somehow labeled that as stalking. In May of 2025, 5 months after we broke up, I sent her a long message by her own account on her own stream. She received it and sat with how to respond until her friends told her it had to be AI. She said, and I quote,
I had someone send me a massive apology message and I wasn't sure, like, what to respond.
He is very obviously misrepresenting her words. She said, I'm in the process of getting a restraining order. He's saying she said she did get a restraining order. Subtle twist of word. What? No. What does process of getting a restraining order even mean? That's like a 1 or 2 day thing. What do you mean? And if it's been 8 months, she should be able to produce something related to that demonstrates that she was at least trying to, right?
I showed a couple of friends and they were like, this is literally ChatGPT.
I had someone send me like a massive like apology message, and I wasn't sure if I like wanted to respond, so like I showed a couple friends and they were like, Emmy, this is literally ChatGPT. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm not responding.
You could put it back into ChatGPT and be like, is this?
Yeah, no, they did.
Just as a heads up, 1, that's not a reliable way to tell something is ChatGPT generated. And then number 2, like, something happens where when women get into groups, they become evil demons. You guys are, at some point, it's going to swing back hard, and I'm going to have no sympathy for groups of women that do shit like this. You guys have the huge problem where, like, a woman on her own might be like a serial rapist murderer, but when that same woman is like in a group of people, she becomes like Joan of Arc. It's the most retarded, brainless shit in the universe. I don't know why women
What
do
do you
this.
mean she becomes Joan of Arc?
Every single thing she's ever done has become justified, and every single person that's ever slighted her has become the villain, no matter what, in every single way. It's beyond fucking retarded. Women can never, like, criticize another woman ever. There is a, I blame to some extent, like, Zoomers and shit, like, destroying all the psych words and all the psych terms. Like, there's this concept of a safe space that I think is really, really, really important. So the idea that, like, let's say that you break up with some dude, and, you know, it's like the day or 2 after, and you want to talk with some friends, and you're like, fuck this guy, and you just want to go off. I think that, like, a day or 2, like, fucking have your moment, you know? And, like, to have it feels cringe, but a safe space where it's like, somebody's like, well, didn't you do this? Or maybe he was trying to do this, right? You just want to fucking vent, and that's fine.
It's a time and a place,
yeah,
you know?
That's totally fine and totally protected. Like, you should have that space to do that. But in the weeks and months afterwards, like, at some point, it's just like, all right, hey, like, time to wake the fuck up, okay? And move on with your life. And you were not the 100% good guy. They were not the 100% villain. Like, calm the fuck down on this. But women will infinitely, especially in these spaces, will infinitely support them on the most retarded crusades on the planet. It's cringe as fuck.
And ChatGPT said it's probably ChatGPT.
This is obviously about me because we were in a relationship the entire time that ChatGPT has existed. This was months before she even went public with an accusation. You do not consider how to respond to the person you say sexually assaulted, abused you, and stalked you. The only thing that stopped her was that her friends decided that my words were too well written to be mine. Think about that. I would like to now talk about the abuse claim that Emiru tried to hint at on her stream. Here's the truth, in my own words. I have never hit Emiru. The one physical thing that ever happened was an accident. I had a habit of tossing my phone onto my bed, and one time it bounced off the mattress and caught her in the eye, and it left a bruise. I felt terrible about it. I apologized immediately. I stopped throwing my phone that day, and we moved past it. That is the only time I ever hurt her, and it was not on purpose. What makes that more than just my word is that, at the time, her own account matched it in 2022. When she had the bruise, she did not call it abuse to anyone. She called it an accident both publicly and in private. In Emiru's best friend at the time's chat room on August 11, 2022, surrounded by all of Emiru's close friends and even her brother, she said the same thing. When a friend asked her directly whether something had given her the black eye, she answered that it was not intentional and called the whole thing a funny story that she would explain later. Verbatim, did someone knock you out, Emily? Emiru said, not intentionally. I got a black eye a week or 2 and it's finally almost gone. It's a long story, but funny as fuck. LOL, I'll DM you later. There was never a police report. There is nothing in any record from that time that treats this as an abuse, in calls, text messages, or anything that me and Emiru had. It was not called intentional abuse until 3 years later when Emiru went live. The bruise never changed. The story about it did. I will also have more messages about this as my lawyer lets me show, proving that this was never abuse, and Emiru has changed the story of it to fit her narrative to make people think that I am a monster. Emiru has accused me of sexual assault, stalking, and abuse. These are all crimes. In the time since, there's been no arrests, no criminal charges, no prosecution, no police complaints against me have surfaced anywhere in this case. On January 15, 2025, the federal magistrate judge has said to the district judge, the Honorable Robert Pittman, that she would deny defendant Emily Beth Shunk's motion to dismiss the First Amendment complaint. The order in which Ms. Rudino is to submit a more definitive statement within 30 days identifying each statement by Shunk he alleges to be defamatory, including the exact quotes from her live stream and how each statement is untrue and how it harms him. So what this essentially means is that Emiru's motion to dismiss did not go through and that we are continuing the court case. That recommendation still goes to the district judge for a final decision, and that same recommendation is why this record exists. The court told me to spell it out one by one, exactly what she said that I allege is false and how it harmed me. This is what I'm doing. It is the court letting my case move forward, not a verdict, and I won't describe it as one. To much of the internet, I'm a rapist, I'm an abuser, and I'm a stalker. None of that is true. And that is the version of me posted under every video I make and handed to people who used to watch me, people I worked with, and people who have never met me. It has cost me my reputation that I've worked 10 years for. It has reached my family, it has reached my friends, and has hurt my work directly. Making content, getting sponsors, and using the platform I spent years building, the same community she built her following on. And it did not stay online. At multiple events, I've been called a rapist. And at one event, minutes after I picked up a wristband, 3 security guards walked me out in front of everyone, and posts mocking me for it reached hundreds of thousands of people. I've been called a rapist to my face in bars and restaurants for most of the last 8 months, and I decided to stay inside because of that. This is a girl named Meg who said, imagine being such a prick you got kicked out of the FlyQuest party after showing up uninvited. This is another tweet. LOL, Mizkif got kicked out of the FlyQuest party after getting rejected on the Partyful app. And then someone asked, what is this party? Also, what is the Partyful ALR? Thanks for ahead of time. She said, TLDR, he was rejected from an esports party, showed up anyway, and got kicked out instantly. So they tried to paint a narrative that I was kicked out and that I was not invited. I want to make it very clear. I was invited by my friend Alana. She just texted me and said go. And I have been to hundreds of parties before Emiru's allegations with no problem in any way, shape, or form. And I got texted by Alana to go to this party with my friend Jeannie. We show up, we did get wristbands immediately, and we were able to walk in. 15 minutes later was when I was escorted out. I never had a problem getting into the party. I showed my ID just like everyone else and waited in line and was immediately let in, only to be almost immediately let out. This was not a case of someone who was simply disliked. And before I left for Japan, after I broke up with Emiru, I was around creators of every kind. And when I came back, almost no one spoke to me. And while I was in Japan, Emiru went through all of my old friends and everyone that we were friends with and spread lies about me. And instead of going to the police or any legal channel, she went straight to the people who matter the most in my life and my career. Whether out of bitterness that I was the one who ended it or for some other reason, I cannot say. What I can say is that friends stepped back, not for anything I did, but for what she told them while I wasn't in the room. And the harm was done before I even said a single word. People watched Emiru's live stream and came almost immediately to every place you can find me and said that I was a rapist and destroyed my name. A false story then took hold that I had admitted to everything when I hadn't. When I spoke, I denied everything, and you can see it on my YouTube channel. And the file transcript proves it. But people who had already made up their mind repeated the false version anyway. Her words were chosen with care, precise enough to be legally actionable, vague enough to let an audience picture the worst. She never had to say rapist. She said sexual assault. And to the millions of people that she said that to, people now call me rapist to my face. That is the harm. It is ongoing. It is every day. And that is why this record exists. Before the breakup, I was not an outcast, as many of you think. I was the center of this community. This is the opposite of the story that people now tell about me. In the year before the breakup, 2024, my house was constantly having people there. I had 4 or 5 creators staying at my house almost every single night. I had Extra Emily who was in the backyard doing something. I was hosting something, streaming with others, and collaborating with people across the entire Twitch scene. In the year that people try to paint that I was a nobody, I had over 100 collaborations with other creators, and I helped lead OnlyFans, the hardcore World of Warcraft guild that had over 300,000 active people checking in on it every single day, that Soda Poppin and I ran together, which brought more than 300 creators into the same guild. And that was just a single month. In October 2024, 3 months before our breakup, I collaborated with Fuslie, Pokimane, the Botez sisters, T10 Nat, Hassan, and Extra Emily. I had a boys' night with NMP, Eva, and my friend Dave. What? I went to go see all of the Game of Thrones collection before they went on auction, and I even hung out with Jason, Max, and Ron that year. I also collaborated with people like Mari, Julia, and Danny. Yes, people try to call me an outcast, but I was outcasted when I came back from Japan. To show you how little of an outcast I was, these messages are between me and my friend at the time, Leslie, who is also known online as Fuslie. This was November 2nd, 2024, just 2 months before me and Emiru had broken up. I was in LA, and I wanted to meet up with her, but she responded, I won't get to see you before you go, but I'm coming to Austin for OTK game day, so I'll see you in like 2 weeks. And then you can just come to LA whenever, cause you'll love it here. Oh lol, wait, that's great. What was your apartment complex called? On November 4th, 2024, she then tells me her apartment number. This was someone that I once called one of my closest friends, Fuslie, wanting me to move to LA as I was telling her 2 months before I broke up with Emiru that I wanted to move to LA and get out of Austin, Texas. Because I knew at the time that I wanted to end it with Emiru and move on. At the time, Fuslie was one of my best friends in the scene. Her and I would talk all the time about our problems, our issues. We would play games together. I was hanging out with her on stream constantly for about 3 or 4 years straight. And whenever we had an issue, we'd call each other. Whenever I was in LA, she was the first person I'd call. Fuslie, whose real name is Leslie, I met her 4 years ago when I went on a girl named Katamia's stream for her subathon. And it turned into some of the most fun I ever had streaming. We became close fast. We played games together all the time. We talked constantly about content, our lives, our relationships, and sponsors. When I was anywhere near LA, she was the first person I called. And just 2 months before my relationship ended, she wanted me to move into her own building in LA. Right there with her, November 2024 text will show that the unit under Valkyries is available and come to LA whenever. I'll love it here. That is the friendship this next part is going to show you that I had. Come to LA.
Waiting.
Oh.
Whenever. I'll love it here. That is the friendship this next part is going to show you that I had. I was very close to all of these people in LA, just like I was to everyone in Austin. But I wanted to move to LA, and I knew I wanted to break up with Emiru. This next part that I'm going to show will show you what has happened to my reputation ever since Emiru's accusations. On June 18th, 2025, after texting me how excited that she was for me to come over, Fuslie came to my house to hang out. She cut my hair and I streamed it. The very next day, June 19th, is when Cutie Cinderella sent the message shown before you that Fuslie had gone to Cutie asking what she thought about me. And Cutie told her her feelings and then told her to reach out to Emiru. Cutie is a dumbass and sent that message to an account that she thought was Emiru, but it wasn't. It was Emi who then gave it to me after
Fuslie asked me what I thought about Ms. today, and I told her my feelings, and she asked what happened with you two, and I told her to reach out to you. Okay.
Emiru made her allegations, showing you that people were my friends prior, but then once they heard Emiru's allegations, completely stopped talking to me. That is a 24-hour window between Fuslie sitting in my house and excited to be there, and Cutie privately briefing her on what it is and how to think about me. After the one private conversation, Fuslie stopped talking to me.
Wait.
And then told shown hair and I streamed it. The very next day, June 19th, is when Cutie Cinderella sent the message shown before you that Fuslie had gone to Cutie asking what she thought about me. And Cutie told her her feelings and then told her to reach out to Emiru. Cutie is a dumbass and sent that message to an account that she thought was Emiru, but it wasn't. It was Emi who then gave it to me after Emiru made her allegations, showing you that people were my friends prior, but then once they heard Emiru's allegations, completely stopped talking to me.
Oh, okay.
That is a 24-hour window between Fuslie sitting in my house and excited to be there, and Cutie privately briefing her on what it is and how to think about me. After the one private conversation.
Wait, Cutie?
Cutie Cinderella.
Do we know if Cutie said anything bad?
I think that's just what she said.
What was that sentence? I think that's just what she said.
Right there on the screen, if you use your fucking eyes, that's what she said. That's what he's talking about.
No! Cutie said something to Fuslie. What did Cutie say to Fuslie? She said that I told her my feelings. Man? Well, because Ms. is making it sound like Cutie said really bad things about him.
Well, Fuslie stopped talking to him after.
Well, sure, but that could have just been Emiru that said bad things to Fuslie, right?
Why would it be Emiru saying... Oh, Emiru. Sorry, not Emiya. Sorry. You know, whatever. I'm just... let me...
Good. Yeah.
Let me cook.
Completely stop talking to me. That is a 24-hour window between Fuslie sitting in my house and excited to be there, and Cutie privately briefing her on what it is and how to think about me. After the one private conversation, Fuslie stopped talking to me entirely. That friend...
Oof. Why did Fuslie even think to go ask her? Probably because there'd been rumors flying around and Fuslie just wanted to check with people what was going on, would be my guess.
On what it is and how to think about me. After the one private conversation, Fuslie stopped talking to me entirely. That
Damn.
friend who wanted to be there on day one of me moving to LA, that friend that wanted me to live in her apartment complex under her friend Valkyrie, was gone because she was told what to say and how to think about me. That friend who was at my house one day, who wanted me to live with her at one point, was now gone because of what she was told in a private message she was never supposed to have. A message from someone who was not even involved. Repeating claims about me that were never true. And making her doubt a real friendship over accusations I was never even given the chance to answer. About a month later, after she hasn't responded to me, I went to a 100 Thieves party with some of my friends, and she was there. And Fuslie walked up to me that night and began crying on my shoulder. When I asked her what was wrong, she told me that we could not hang out anymore because of what she heard I did to Emiru. At the time, I had no idea what was going on and what people were saying about me, and I would ask her to tell me what was said, but she would say no more. I tried to reach out to Fuslie afterwards multiple times, and she never responded.
Rip.
On June 27th was the date of the 100 Thieves party, and after crying to me for hours on my shoulder, telling me that she can't hang out with me anymore because of what she heard I did, she said, "You're okay, Ms." I then said, "Just sad the reality, but maybe whatever." I then said, "It's just so fake, the politics are fake, so much crap and so much cheating and drama, and nobody cares and they hang out, but here I am and people don't want to talk to me." I then say to her the next day, "We should talk, not drunk, off stream." She never responded.
Rip.
And on March 4th, to my friend Fuslie, I said to her, "I hope one day we can hang out," and you can see that she lied. So you have one day where she's at my house having fun, the next day Cutie Cinderella messages her, and then she never talks to me again. This is what was constantly happening to me for about a year until Emiru came out through allegations. I was not an outcast. I was friends with every creator. I slowly became an outcast over that year as Emiru's lies were spread amongst the community, and nobody told me what was really going on. For almost a year now, I've been forced to live inside a bubble that isn't mine, and it doesn't feel real. I've been wrongfully punished and treated and seen as a man that I am not. I've been labeled a rapist, an abuser, and a stalker. 3 words I have never been. Wrongfully attacked.
Kind of fuck her for not wanting to hear his side. The story itself doesn't actually matter. What happened was Emiru has convinced enough people of a particular thing, and then once it gets to Fuslie, enough of the friend group is on one side. Don't ever expect, especially a streamer, but most people will not like take a stand for a friend or whatever. They'll just go along with the friend group. So if most of the friend group is saying one thing, even if the person knows it's wrong, even if Fuslie knows that they're all lying, and then Miz has his side, they'll always just side with the friend group. And then that's all compounded and amplified by streamer stuff because you want to be able to collab with these people and everything else. You know that if you don't like side with the group, then you're going to get cut out from like collabs and everything as well.
Attached to my name and my reputation and my community for the entire world to treat me as such. It took more than my name. It took my reputation, it reached into my family's life, and it has completely destroyed me as a person. I don't wish any of this that has happened to me among my worst enemies. There were nights it would have been easier to just disappear, to be quiet, to let the loudest version of the story become the only one. But it didn't disappear, and I'm not going to. This is not the first time, and it will not be the last time that I will address these allegations. I spoke the same way she did, and I talked about it on stream since, but this is the first time I've done it in a way with a clear head, with preparation, in every document in front of me, and every quote sourced. I spoke the same day she did, and I've talked about it on stream since, but this is the first time I've done it in this way. This is only the beginning, and I'm going to go through all of this because I know she won't, because it will prove her lies. Because the truth doesn't ask me to shout, it only asks me to stay, to stand here with these documents, with the dates, with her own words, and not look away. I'm standing up for myself, I'm standing up for people who stood by me, and I'm going to keep standing for as long as it takes. This has been the worst year of my life. I wouldn't wish this on a single soul, not on anyone, no matter what they've done to me. All I have ever wanted is for the truth to be heard, and for justice, real justice, to find its way to the surface. To my community, and to everyone who never stopped believing in me. When believing in me costs you something. Thank you. Before I go, there's just one more thing I want you to see. Just one. This whole case will be decided on evidence. The messages, the devices, the documents, everything both sides has to hand over, under oath. I filed this lawsuit on November 3rd, 2025. By her own side's account, she knew about it November 10th. And on November 11th, the very next day, she went back on stream and told everyone, watching this in her own words,
I got 2 new computers. My other computer is gone. I gave it back to Starforge and they wiped that shit.
Does anybody have a link to the VOD on this?
I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe, comment, and please spread this everywhere. It needs to get out the truth. I'm tired of people thinking of lies and understanding. Emiru is a massive liar and she needs to be stopped.
Wait, do we have... Somebody find the VOD where Emiru says that. I'm just curious what prompted her to say that. Hold on one sec. Really?
Hello! Hi guys! Wait, flying dope. Okay, I fixed it. My stuff is all fucked because I got 2 new computers. My other computer is gone. I gave it back to Starforge and they wiped that shit. Hello guys! I'm a bit nervous. I haven't done a normal stream in a while. Today is gonna be a normal stream. I can confirm that we will.
It was just a totally unprompted...
Words.
I got 2 new computers.
Documents, everything both sides has to hand over, under oath. I filed this lawsuit to the surface, to my community, and to everyone who never stopped believing in me. When believing in me costs you something. Thank you. Before I go, there's just one more thing I want you to see. Just one. This whole case will be decided on evidence. The messages, the devices, the documents, everything both sides has to hand over, under oath. I filed this lawsuit on November 3rd, 2025. By her own side's account, she knew about it November 10th. And on November 11th, the very next day, she went back on stream and told everyone, watching this in her own words,
I got 2 new computers. My other computer is gone. I gave it back to Starforge and they wiped that shit.
I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe.
Uh-oh. Well, we'll see what happens.
You can't wipe a computer anymore?
True. What does that mean? Why did she say that? I don't know, to leave something for why she wouldn't have to turn over discovery-related stuff, maybe? But, I don't know.
How do you feel about that? Does it feel like a little close to home or no? People,
yeah, it feels like I'm close to your mom's home. Ooh.
Yeah.
This is the better timestamp. Wait, what?
Put on the PC. Oh my god, okay.
Oh.
Yo, Big Lisi, thanks for 4 months. Yes, the Annihilator Cup for sure, if they invite me again. Yes. Yo, Kosio, thanks for the sub. Sorry, I haven't been reading the subs today. Bad streamer. Wait, after the PC? Oh my god, okay, so... This is gonna sound schizo, but I promise it's true. People keep fucking trying to get into my computer, so I sent my computer back to Starforge to be wiped, and they gave me 2 new PCs so I can do a setup where I have 1 PC that's only for streaming, and I have 1 PC that's only for, like, my banking stuff, and my...
Wait, what? People keep trying to get into my computer?
Discord and stuff. So they're completely separate, but I've got two PCs under here now, and one of them, oh my god, Starforge fucking hooked me up, bro. They gave me the ultimate. It has a 5090, and I'm gonna use it to play TFT and League of Legends and Megabonk. Sorry, Starforge. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Starforge type, haha, it's okay. Thanks, Starforge. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh shit, yo, Code Red, thank you for the 25. Thank you. But yeah, Starforge has my old computer. And it's not even the first time it happened. The same thing happened, I think it was in January or February. I also had to, okay, so you know how I know? Because, oh my god, I don't want to like explain it because I don't want to like, so basically, stuff on your computer will just start moving on its own, and that's how you know. But they'll try to do it when you don't see it, but I saw it, so, yo, Chaos Fruit, thank you for the 25 gifts.
Yeah, I don't know anything about like her computer knowledge or whatever. Is she good, or is this like a troll, or?
Thank you.
Maybe she's a schizo.
Cinema Rated addicted to Megabonk, dude, fuck yeah. I love that. Very sick. Oh my goodness. Yo, Bedhead, thanks for gifting a sub to Maple Story. Maple Story. Yo, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Thank you. What else have I been doing? I was only in Kansas for like 4 days. Besides that, I've just been here. I hung out with Bonnie a lot. We went out and got sushi and shit, and yeah, good times. Besides, I've just been like chilling. Like, oh god, I'm so thankful. I don't want anyone to think that I'm like complaining, right? I learned something new because of all the
I don't understand. Wiping your PC doesn't delete chat logs. No, all that shit is integrated on like all your devices nowadays. I mean, yeah, but I mean, you can argue whatever the fuck you want to the court. I mean, and try to obfuscate as much as possible. I mean, Pixie was claiming in her deposition that, oh, I think Aaron blocked me, so I don't have any of the logs on Discord. Or like she said a million retarded fucking lies about why she doesn't have any of her stuff, so.
Incidents in the past month. Did you guys know that when you get too many DMs on Discord, Discord starts hiding them? I didn't know that either. But, it's
What? Hold on.
complaining, right? I learned something new because of all the incidents in the past month. Did you guys know that when you get too many DMs on Discord, Discord starts hiding them? I didn't know that either. But, it literally took me like 3 weeks to reply to everybody, but I reply to almost everybody now. Yeah, they start like...
I mean, what would possibly be on the old PC when any relevant evidence would be in Discord? Well, like, say she'd redacted her Discord logs and she only had a local copy or whatever, and then she wiped her computer. Those are gone forever. Any end-to-end encrypted chats that don't sync across devices could theoretically be gone. So I don't know if WhatsApp or Telegram syncs automatically. I know Signal could or couldn't, depending on your settings, so those could be gone. Any other, I don't know what kind of like, I don't know if you have like local text syncing on computers, depending on what you have, but.
Okay, so how does this like, it'll fill up your sidebar, and then they're like, oh, okay, it's only like 20. It's not that bad. And it'll open one at the top, and a new one will pop up, and a new one will pop up, and a new one will pop up. And I was like, oh my god. Oh my god. But, I mean, yeah. That's just how it goes, I guess.
Is her Discord like public? Like anybody can message her? Or I don't understand.
Like, it'll fill up your sidebar, and then they're like, oh, okay, it's only like 20, it's not that bad. And it'll open one at the top, and a new one will pop up, and a new one will pop up, and a new one will pop up. And I was like, oh my god. Oh my god. But, I mean, yeah. That's just how it goes, I guess. Bro, my PC's got hacked the same way 2 days later. I got 2 fraud charges on my bank account. Yeah, I think that, okay, so apparently a lot of these people target people that they suspect have a lot of crypto. I don't got any crypto, so they didn't get nothing.
Okay, I just don't watch her streams normally, so I don't know if she normally acts like this, but like, just on a whatever, if I had like an ordinary basis, like, this is a person lying 1 trillion%. But some people have their own quirks with how they speak and things that they say or whatever, but if somebody has like an odd behavior that they've engaged in, and then they try to over-explain the rationale for it with weird details that are hard to understand, like that always comes off as a lie. When people are lying about things, they try to add a lot of detail to it because they think that having detail makes it more likely to be true in the other person's mind. But if you know what to listen for, it very much comes off like the person is lying. Like, oh, like what were you doing yesterday? Oh, I think like, all right, we went to John's house. I think we watched School of Rock, I think, because that movie's awesome, and smoked a little. Is like a story, but you're like, oh, what'd you do last night? And it's like, oh, we went to John's house last night. I remember we watched School of Rock on his Netflix account because he uses his sister's login. And we had we smoked. They had these the Continental vape smoke things from the local weed shop, and they were so good. We got super high off of the, like, people will add details like this because they think it makes the story sound more credible. It doesn't. It makes it sound super obvious you're lying. But it's the fact that she's like adding a bunch of random stuff, but it's also like so retarded. Like, my mouse is moving on my computer and I can tell I'm hacked because my files are moving when I'm not watching, is like, that's like the most retarded thing. Like, your computer's ratted, or like, I don't understand. like, if that was the case, she needs to go and change the password on every single account that she has and potentially close some accounts completely. Like, that's just like the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I don't understand. What she's saying sounds like she needs like a full audit and cleansing of every single account and every single thing she has that's attached to her on her computer and off her computer. So
Okay, so apparently a lot of these people target people that they suspect have a lot of crypto. I don't got any crypto, so they didn't get nothing out of me, but they sure tried. They tried twice.
like that this statement is either a lie or it's like the most retarded thing I've ever heard in my entire life. But also, like, doesn't she have friends who are streamers, like Espend or other people? Yeah. Like, I think other streamers would be messaging us like, hey, we should chat after. Like, you need to change every single password you have on a new computer or like on a freshly reinstalled OS because your shit is probably all compromised right now. Like, immediately. Like, you should end stream and do it, because if they have like your email and then if they have your email and a SMS, even with just your email though, they can basically unlock every single fucking thing you have. Like, your shit could be completely fucked.
Yes, sir. I don't have none of that. Yes, sir. Just let me.
Like, that's just a crazy thing to casually drop too. They're like, oh yeah, my computer's ratted. I have no idea, you know, I just see shit moving around on my computer all the time, but I don't have any crypto, so it's good. Like, that's just an insanely crazy thing to say. Like, that can't possibly be true.
I'm cheddar coin, bro.
But this would also be a really retarded thing for her to lie about.
Well, yeah, but I mean, unless she's trying to set up, like, oh, I can't hand over any documents, it's all gone because I just got a new computer because it was hacked before, ha ha ha, right? So
yeah, it's just so stupid.
Like, doing this like the day after, or a week after the lawsuit was filed is kind of, yeah.
I didn't show you
Sussy
the star. Okay, you're sleepy.
Is that the only time she mentions it, or?
We're alive. Oh, isn't he so good, Cheddar? Did you miss me on my streets? Okay. He's like, put me down, you vile wench. I shall put it in the cheese. There you go. Isn't it a perfect tree?
I won't be distracted by your cat, lady.
And look.
Is anybody in her chat saying anything? Like, bruh, you need to go, like, reset all your passwords, or?
Mox is as big as Cheddar now. She's getting large, but I think, like, her head is still smaller. I think it's just that she's getting fat. Oh, hi, Cheddar. She's getting quite fat. Can you move out of frame, please, bro? Seriously? After everything, you're still gonna be mean to me. Goodbye. Yo, Ajax, thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you so much. Oh shit, level 17 hyper train. Holy moly. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I know.
Good business.
Oh, yo, I don't want to focus on me. Yeah, honestly, I just want to watch I'm just gonna watch my fucking daily dose, and I'm gonna play some fuck ass shit like League. Remember I said at TwitchCon, I deserve to play some League. Fuck you guys. Maybe, I might play some other stuff. There's just like not a lot of games right now that I super want to play. Yo, anyway, thank you for the 10 gifted. Thank you so much.
That Quicksilver guy is memeing, right? I think he's definitely memeing.
What kind of game is Dispatch? I keep seeing people talk
He just said, I'm not even
about
gonna
it, but I haven't watched any of it. I thought it was a story game. Arc Raiders, bro, you know I would be dog shit at that. Yo, remember, thank you for the 10. Telltale. Oh.
I remember when I used
So
to
do you guys
play
like the
Arc
cheese tree or
Raiders.
not? Does it look ugly in my room? I think it looks perfect. It's good. Well, it kind of, you can't really tell, but this yellow is like, it's like greenish in real life. It looks kind of nasty. And why is there like cheese dripping off the cheese wheel? I don't know. Why is the big doll so dirty? I don't know. She's getting disgusting and filthy. And she's literally done nothing but sit there. She's collecting dirt. Oh shit, yo. Shallon, thank you for the, what the fuck is going on? Yo, Shallon, thank you for the 50 and Ovi.
Alright, is this everything?
Yo, thank you for the 50. Thank you. And Jonathan, thank you for the 10.
Yo, Shaolin
Oh my
monk.
goodness. But yeah, it should be a fun week. I have to go to a meeting tomorrow. For
Glara finally back clappy. Also, have you
So-
beaten Sinner's Mega Bonk score yet?
Meeting for
shit,
what?
TTS is back on.
Like, nothing she's saying here even logically follows. So people keep trying to get into my computer. I don't understand what that means. I sent my computer back to Starforge to be wiped, and they gave me 2 PCs so I could do a setup where I have 1 PC that's only for streaming and 1 PC that's only for banking and my Discord and stuff. That is not like a computer on stream helps people get into your computer. Is she like typing her passwords in on stream? Like, how does that help somebody write? I don't.
She's lying, man.
Yeah, I guess 20s.
Shrimple as.
Like what?
Bro, my PC's got hacked the same way 2 days later. I got 2 fraud charges on my bank account. Yeah, I think that.
Oh, she was getting a chat message there. What is this? Guys, I'll be right back.
Guys, I'll be right back.
Where'd she go?
Wait, hold on.
Back.
Alarma.
You know what? I just realized I didn't change anything when I made the. Guys, I'll be right back.
Wait, why do we see her OBS here if she has 2 PCs now? Wait, I'm so confused. Hold on. All right,
Well, wait, what's the OBS? Show me the OBS.
No. Bro, how does he have all these? What the fuck are his stream overlay?
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Okay, yeah, maybe I was wrong to say he needed to just go.
Very sad today.
There's a great clown in town.
Poor Quinn, man.
The main PC is for stream, the other PC is for personal stuff. Oh, like she does the streaming on her streaming PC too. Oh, okay. So she doesn't. It's not like a capture card or anything. Okay, I guess.
Dude, I don't understand why, but Quinn has some of the like most obsessed hate watchers. I feel like he doesn't do anything. Like he's just a guy.
Does Quinn have obsessed hate watchers? Is that true? Maybe some PoE haters, but I feel like for the most part, Quinn is almost universally loved. No, actually, I'm so sorry. That's retarded. I mixed him up with Zazarian is universally loved. Quinn can be pretty. I'll say provocative. He probably has some hate watchers. Quinn can be very provocative sometimes, but I think even he would acknowledge that, right?
Oh, I think he got some. Did Quinn go and kill like an opossum or something? People were mad about that.
He might have, but he's also had like I don't know if I'd say yikesy, but like controversial political takes and says culture stuff sometimes. Like I don't know as much recently, but.
Is your video output OBS 1080p? You know what? I just realized I didn't change.
Is your
video output OBS 1080p?
Oh.
You know what? I just realized I didn't change anything when I made the. Guys, I'll be right back.
Okay, hold on.
Hello? Can you make sure it's 60 FPS? Guys, I'll be right back.
Based? Okay. Well, hold on. Now she's starting to win me over.
Hello? Sorry, I got a new PC. I forgot. I got a new PC. I had to redo everything. I forgot. That's not working.
Oh, okay. That's it.
Boring.
No. Fuck that shit.
The hair. Plus I have braids under, so it's like awkward. Hold up. I'm logging into my other PC. I want to see.
Oh, cute.
What do you think? Pre-flop is a flop.
This is from Dispatch? Yeah,
oh,
I
that
should
was
probably...
her talking about. Okay, well. Wait.
What do you think about Mizkif's video?
I mean, we have to wait and see her response, I guess. I mean, it seems like he's pretty justified in everything he's saying, though. Like, so she's going to need, like, the ball is in her court right now. She's going to have to 180 some of these claims with some pretty crazy, like, reverse receipts, right?
Hit 10K. I accidentally did a thing that's blocking it, and I...
3 balls in her court, even.
Okay, so having 2 PCs is actually kind of a pain, but I'll get used to it. It's for security reasons. People don't try to steal my crypto that I don't have.
Art requires a certain cruelty.
I'm sorry. This has to be a lie. This has to be a lie. She has to be lying about this, right?
That's what I think.
Sam Wow, thanks for the gift sub.
What does she need to Uno reverse on? Well, I mean, that footnote was kind of a lie, implying that they broke up. That seems to not be true. Or at least there was a yo-yo back and forth. And then, like... I haven't read all the filings, so I don't know for sure. But, like, if a large part of their argument relies on that emotional truth thing, I don't know. I just don't know the case on it. I'd have to read another court case. To be like... oh, like, yeah, he raped me. And then you're like, whoa, that's kind of defamatory. And you're like, that's my emotional truth. Well, excuse me. No, that's not an emotional truth. That's not a subjective statement, regarding your feelings about a thing. That's like a statement of fact.
Pretty big claim. That's
a statement of fact, yeah. And it sounds like that was how her legal team was trying to defend it as like an emotional truth. The stalking claim, yeah, it's definitely going to need more as well to it. Are streamers really that clueless in regards to anything related to computers? Yes, streamers are retarded. However, she just sounds like she's lying. Like, I don't even know where she would get these statements from. And most streamers are pretty nervous about like security related things because people are always trying to hack your accounts and everything. So for her to just casually mention that she knew that people had access to her whole system, especially if she took it to another company, what she would be complaining about was how annoying it was to change all of her passwords and then to go and get like a new SIM card, and that they made her download a password manager, and that now she has like a 2-factor authenticate. Like these are the things that she would be talking about if what she was describing was true. Not like, oh, I got 2 computers, so now I'm perfectly secure. That's retarded. Why would 2 computers make you secure? It sounds like you're just giving people twice the attack vectors because you're too retarded to even keep one secure. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. That's a nonsense statement.
Oh, thanks for bye.
That would be like a 3-day horror show of changing
Of a
all of your
whole
fucking
bunch of
passcode.
shit. Yeah.
Oh my
well,
god.
But actually, no, that wouldn't be true. It would actually be a 1-day immediate horror show, because as soon as somebody gained access to her box, they would probably do that fucking if it was people that do the ransom shit,
Cloudflare
then they
shit?
would ransomware it,
ransom.
and then her passwords would have been flipped, and then everything would have been compromised that way. It wouldn't just be like, oh, I'm gonna like rat this box and then just like move files around and just kind of like peek around for a little bit to see what happens. LOL. Like that's retarded.
Dude, all of those people who got the fucking like the what's her name? Caterino hack, like Pichao, Koibu, I would have killed myself, dude, if I lost my PC.
Sure. What? Hold on. September 1st.
Didn't transfer any of my files.
September, October, November. September is 2 months earlier, right? Yes, then November. I hate the fucking... What is this?
Lost my entire save because I had to... Converting to tier 1... Did y'all know if it weren't for CrapCat, I would have quit Dark Souls 2 because I literally lost my entire save because I had to get a new PC because my other one got infected by a crypto scammer. He was literally in my PC and I didn't transfer any of my files because I just fucking dropped that shit off at Starforge and was like, yeah, I can't just, you know... And then he recreated my fucking save. Yo, Delph, thanks for the Prime.
In September?
What?
How is this happening? Does Steam not... Is she not playing on Steam? Or no, wait, this is Path of Exile. Or no, wait, Path of Exile is an online game.
It is online,
What?
Yeah. Wouldn't they have a cloud save?
She said Dark Souls 2. Oh, that was a Dark Souls 2 too. Well, but isn't it, can you play Dark Souls 2 not on Steam?
I mean, you play on a console.
Oh. Well, wait, what? That wouldn't... Your save wouldn't be on your
But
computer.
then that wouldn't make any sense, yeah.
And he's not VIP. Oh wait, I guess you're right. There. I think we have some VIP slots now. Yeah, you're right. I should have done that a while ago. But in my defense, I think he was like newer to the community at the time, and I didn't think that he was gonna be a regular. Diablo 5, yes. Dude, hell yeah.
You can turn off cloud saves on Steam. She doesn't know how to use her computer.
Yeah. I wonder if when did Mizkif say he was going to sue her? Has she always been this retarded, or did this
Mizkif said it was the day before that she said on stream
well, no,
that
yes.
she gave her PCs.
I understand that, but this is a totally separate event 2 months earlier. This is September 1st, 2025. So if these things happened within pretty quick succession, I wonder if this has happened before, like in the years prior, before any like lawsuit stuff started to be floated, or if this all just started around. When did she make her big public accusation about Mizkif? What date was that stream? Okay, hold on. I'll just read the complaint.
No one knows anything. Katerina said that DM'd Mr. Moon and Destiny about making an indie game because she ran a malicious.exe from her friends that were the same. They just take all your accounts and shit. Yeah, she was the first retard, and then a bunch of others joined in.
Okay, so this happened in September, prior to October of her doing that stream. So it's hard to believe that this would be a setup then, because she would be planning pretty far in advance for that. So she might literally just be ultra supercomputer retarded. or this legitimately happened then, and then she's trying to like reuse that event or something. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter what happened. If she took the computer to Starforge, she would have had an obligation to back up stuff anyway. But that shouldn't even matter because most of this shit is backed up online anyway. So I don't know. Whatever. Jesus.
What do you want him to say?
I want him to say I'm gonna beat the shit.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, hold on. What is Asmonger's take?
Did you watch the Mizkif video? No, I'm not going to make any comments on that because I'm still in a lawsuit with Mizkif. I saw that he released a new video, but like I'm not going to make any comments because he's literally suing me for defamation. So when that's over, one way or another.
Is Mizkif suing him for defamation? I'm trying to think for when they're all listed on the complaint. Does that mean all of them, or is it mainly about the contract thing? I don't know. I don't know how it works. What?
I don't know. I think Mizkif has like 2 lawsuits out, but I'm not sure.
Well, in this lawsuit, he does list OTK and Asmongold as part of the defendants in the case. But I don't know if the defamation claim carries over to Asmongold and OTK, or if it's just this breach of contract claim. Oh no, Hoyt is under the defamation thing. Have repeatedly published untrue defamatory statements concerning Ronaldo to an audience of millions, painting as a rapist, domestic abuser, and emotional abuser. Oof. Him getting kicked out of the company is going to complicate this a lot too, because that makes it look really sus. But
Sussy baka.
oh my god. Hassan looking like such a proud dad when Kaya nudged the door open. This was so cute. It looks like Kaya's trying to fucking escape from prison. Hold on.
Okay. Go.
I want to see if you can watch her.
She's probably worried that she's going to get shocked because the training or whatever is probably still from the every time she would try to like escape the room, he would electrocute her. So that's probably what she's worried about.
Kaya, okay. Kaya, okay. Open the door. Open the door. There it is. Yeah.
Freedom!
She's brilliant.
She's brilliant? The door's already open? Holy shit.
She's brilliant. She's brilliant. That's it. She has a PhD. It's crazy. Okay. Go.
Dude, this dog is so terrified of him. Oh my fucking god. Jesus.
I want to see if you can watch her.
Oh my god. All right.
When that's over, then I'll make comments on it. But right now, I'm not going to say anything. Why would I do that? It'd be stupid to do that, right? And so, yeah, sorry to say, guys, anybody expecting any drama or anything like that, it's not going to happen. So, yeah, anyway, does Nick's mom hate you? I don't know. Why does Nick's mom hate me? I have no idea. I know people have asked, obviously, like I said this earlier, I've had like 5 comments in chat about this. I did see people want me to watch the new Mizkif video. That's not going to happen because Mizkif is suing me. When this is over, then I will discuss it. But I'm not going to make any comments or any sort of input on things based off of, somebody that's literally I'm in a lawsuit with, right? So I just want people to understand that. I did see it. I saw everything that happened, but I'm not going to be making any comments at all until the lawsuit is over. How long until you think it's over? There are multiple finish lines, and I don't want to make any assumptions or any analysis on it because my goal is in getting out of it and then explaining pretty much what's going on. So
Hey, Asmongold, you're going to react to your Queen Emiru's 48 minutes of lies. Or do you want to keep hitting on her saying how cool you are for using the N-word as passwords at 33 years old? Emiru sent this to me in a screenshot years ago. Oh my god, not the N-word. Screenshotted JK, but not actually JK. Diabolical. Diabolical. Diabolical.
What do you want me to say, man?
Okay. The clan's take on the drama. Who is the clan? What does that mean?
Oh, I love the clan.
Powder? Don't get... What? Our time has come to an end. What? Oh, don't care. Okay. Is this like the Nazi VTuber or what?
I have no idea who the fuck this is. I've never heard of Powder.
And it comes across as very feminine to me. This person is retarded. Okay, I'm good. All right.
I wish someone would call me feminine.
Really? I'm law retarded, but page 17 contains the case law Emiru's side used for arguing dismissal. The thing is, I would have to read the underlying case law, so... Texas law is long held... I remember reading some of this at the time, but I don't know how much we dove into anything. As long held that even a verifiably false statement is not defamation if the context of the statement reveals that the statement was merely a reflection of an opinion, not a statement of fact. The Court of Appeals took this up in a case strikingly similar to the one at bar.
It's just your opinion, man.
Did we ever read the fact pattern of the suit?
No one reads anything, man.
So I'm no one to you. Court lister. Nice, good one. Court listener. Nice. Fuck. Stop going on court listener. You guys are liking the site.
Stop.
No, you stop.
Hammer time.
Boom. District Court D, Delaware.
God, I'm never lucky, man.
New chat message. Hi, welcome to FindLaw.com. I'm a real person. I can help coordinate consultation with an attorney. Say hi to begin. Is that really a real person? No! I didn't mean to do it. Okay.
Would they lie?
True. Background. Okay, allegedly they were private figures who were married to one another. According to the Bensons, on or about April 2nd, 2023, Guerrero published a video on TikTok. Bensons alleged that in the video they made numerous defamatory statements about them, including statements of Guerrero and others were sexually assaulted by Chris while on a cruise in 2020. Vicky knew that Guerrero was sexually assaulted but not care. Vicky carried sexual assault as a mistake. Vicky told Guerrero it wasn't her problem. Guerrero had been sexually assaulted. Benson's also alleged that Guerrero, through the TikTok video, had knowingly, maliciously, or negligently published to third parties, false and wrong. unambiguous statements that Chris is actually a soldier. According to the Bensons, there's false statements about Chris that he had allegedly committed a criminal offense constituted defamation per se, which are not further as a result of. We notice false statement. Chris alleged he suffered mental anguish. Blah 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 blah. Benson alleged a statement about Chris also directly and approximately caused injury to Chris, which resulted in special damages, including harm to his earning capacity, loss of income, and loss of employment. And they alleged that Chris was entitled to exemplary damages because he had acted with actual malice in making her blah blah blah. As to Vicky, the Bensons alleged he made false statements about Vicky. Answer: generally denying the allegations in the Benson's petition and asserting various affirmative defenses. Credito also moved to dismiss the Benson's defamation claims against her under the TCPA, arguing that the trial court should dismiss Benson's claims because they were based on or in response to her exercise of free speech. Specifically, Credito asserted that Benson's claims that she defamed Chris by stating that she and others sexually assaulted him while in a cruise were accusations of criminal conduct unless a statement regarding matter of public concern for the purposes of the TCPA, as were her claims, or as were, sorry, the videos about asserted that the Bensons did not have clear and specific evidence to make a prima facie case for each essential element of the defamation case required to survive a motion to dismiss under the TCPA, requested attorney's fees under the so that they did not dispute that there were claims for defamation per se or subject to the TCPA, but as to the other alleged defamatory statements purportedly made by law, they holy shit. At the hearing on Guerrero's TCPA motion, the trial court viewed her TikTok video in which she stated the following. So I think it's time. I feel I need to make this for myself. I think I need to make it for the miscommunication that I receive from a lot of fans and people in general. So I'm going to go ahead and just start because the story going so in depth. I'm just going to my family is well known, obviously, blah, blah, blah. I need to serve it. So a lot of people ask me if I talk to my mom and sister, and the answer is no, blah, 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 blah. I'm tired of crying. Come to an right before COVID. There was a cruise that my family had went on, and basically on this cruise, I got sexually assaulted. And the unfortunate part is that this was by my stepdad. Yeah, it was by my stepdad. And was I the only one? No, that's not my business to put their story out there, but it happened to me. And the fact that I protected somebody that doesn't clearly give a shit about me is beyond me. But hey, you know, growth, maturity, right? There's basically fast forward, maybe like the following year, when I got injured my knee, my mom was only out here in Houston, blah, 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 blah. And it's been fucking hard. It's kind of crazy, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, you.
My journey. After the hearing, the trial court granted Guerrero's motion to dismiss, ordered the Benson's defamation claims against them be dismissed with prejudice, and Guerrero was entitled to an award of court costs. Damn. In their first and second issues, Benson's argued that the trial court erred in granting Guerrero's motion to dismiss because he did not apply to Vicky's defamation claim. We've reviewed de novo the trial court's ruling on a TPA motion, deciding if a legal action should be dismissed under the TPA. We consider the pleadings evidence a court can consider under Texas Rule of Civil Procedure and supporting opening allegations. Basically, we review the pleadings evidence line it's a procedure for the expedited dismissal of retaliatory lawsuits that seek to intimidate or silence as a matter of public concern. The purpose is identifying and summarily dispose of lawsuits and only to chill first matter of science, not to dismiss them.
You want to go to the Happy Turtle?
Yeah, let's go. To be entitled to dismissal under the TCPA, movement has the initial burden to demonstrate that a legal action is based on or in response to the movement's exercise of the right to petition, cessation of free speech. If the movement's their initial burden, then the burden shifts to the non-movements to establish by clear and specific evidence a prima facie case for each essential element. The non-movements may satisfy their burden of establishing a prima facie case. It's a matter of law. This burden is not onerous, although conclusory statements do not. The non-movement establishes a prima facie case. The TCPA still allows dismissal if the movement establishes an affirmative grounds or other defense on which the movement is entitled to judgment as a matter of law. Okay, public concern. In a portion of their first issue, the Bensons argued that the trial court erred in granting Guerrero's motion to dismiss certain of Vicky's defamation claims against because TCPA only applies to wrong. Estimates how Vicky's being a bad Vicky's mother did not constitute communication made in connection with a matter of public concern, as Vicky was not a public figure. It's noted above, the TCPA allows for the expected. Oh my god. It's just necessary that Vicky's defamation claims. No. The Bensons in their brief assert that Vicky's audience was not substantial enough to give Vicky public figure or celebrity status, but they do not set any authority that sets a substantial audience threshold. Fuck, I might chat in 7 minutes. I would need to read about how this TCPA is applied, because that sounds like that's what they dismissed us under. And since argued the trial court erred in granting the motion to dismiss as to all of their defamation claims because they established by clear and specific evidence a prima facie case, blah, blah, blah. As noted above, what's the movement initial burden of understanding the legal actions based on the non-movements, but established by clear and specific evidence prima facie case for each essential element. Defamation claim requires a plaintiff to prove the publication of a false statement of fact that was defamatory about the plaintiff with the requisite degree of fault, and in some cases damages. And presume certain category briefing. They assert that they established prima facie for each of the claims of defamation by specific evidence as Chris's defamation per se based on this. She got sexual assault. Benson argued this statement is defamatory per se because according to the text penal code, a person commits offense sexual assault. Blah 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 blah. It's commonly understood as merely, oh. In her reply in support of her motion to dismiss, Guerrero asserted that her statement about Chris was not defamatory per se because sexual assault is commonly understood as merely touching someone in a sexual way when they do not want you to. But the fact that a term may have multiple meanings does not factor into our analysis at this stage. Plenty of a statement is capable of at least one defamatory and at least one non-defamatory meaning. It is for the jury to determine whether the defamatory sense was one conveyed. Okay. Reviewing whether Chris's defamation claim survived a TCPA challenge, trial court was required only to consider Chris denied sexually assaulting them on the 20th. Chris also denied Guido's statement in her declaration of motion to search when she forced his hand. In her reply, asserted that Chris denials were conclusory and thus did not constitute the clearance of the evidence required to survive a TCPA. Party claims an event occurred and the other party claims it did not. A plaintiff's denial can satisfy his TCPA burden to present prima facie evidence of falsity. Here, Chris denied having committed the specific acts alleged and published by Guerrero. His statements, if uncontested, would be sufficient as a matter of law to establish that he did not commit those acts. It's also argued in her reply in support of her motion to dismiss the trial court should dismiss Chris's defamation case because she establishes truth as an affirmative defense to the claim, but in defamation cases involving matters of public concern, the burden is upon the plaintiff to prove falsity, not upon the defendant to prove truth. Because Chris met his burden of establishing prima facie case of defamation per se, and Guerrero did not establish a valid affirmative defense, we hold that the trial court erred in granting this. Okay. These defamation claims allege that tired of getting messages accusing her of not reaching out to her mother. Fuck, 4 minutes. Hold on. I'm almost here. And viewed in that context, part of Guerrero's description of how she became estranged from Vicky and how she felt about it, even if Vicky were correct, that certain statements which had purportedly recounted what Vicky had said to her involved objectively verifiable facts. Viewing the TikTok video as a whole shows that Guerrero shared her personal viewpoint, i.e. her own emotional truth, and not purported fact. In the informal and intimate setting of the video, Guerrero described her emotional journey and expressed her sadness about being estranged from her family. Her recollections about the conversation with Vicky and how they led to Guerrero's feelings of abandonment were no more than opinion masquerading as fact. Oh, okay.
Shrimp blaz.
She'd been living with the Bensons. After the cruise, she decided to live with them because the COVID-19 worked hard to move out of their home and into an apartment after which she tried to talk with Vicky about how uncomfortable she was with Chris. But Vicky was less than sympathetic and responsible that she perceived Guerrero's lack of respect for Chris as a way of disrespect to her and her relationship. I think Guerrero said that Vicky had blocked her telephone calls and Guerrero described her sadness about not having spoken with her mother for more than 2 years. She became obviously emotional for once by recording the TikTok video expressing her unhappiness about the estrangement with her mother and her hurt for feeling like her mother did not protect her. And the statements that Vicky alleged were defamatory when viewed in context, part of Guerrero's description of how she became estranged and how she felt about it. Even if Vicky were correct that certain statements in which Guerrero reportedly recounted what Vicky had said to her involved objectively verifiable facts, being the TikTok video as a whole shows her personal viewpoint of her emotional truth and not purported fact. Oh, so the Guerrero person is, when she talks about sexual assault, she's explaining what she says Vicky said to her. The Benson's alleged made, including statements. Vicky knew that Guerrero had been sexually assaulted and didn't care. I don't know. Okay, whatever. This is a little bit messier than the whatever thing. Okay, sorry. Good, get fucked. I'm glad we wasted all day with this. Hell yeah.
Yeah, waste our time.
Problem?
I mean, what else would we have done? You know what I'm saying?